into the second half of the 13th season of NORC competition. We're at the big bad Talladega Superspeedway for a pair of 30-lap duels, holding all the high-speed, high-intensity pack racing action your heart desires. Welcome to the virtual Lincoln, Alabama. Emerson Arn with Joe Donahue and Trey Shuttlesworth alongside this evening, and we thank you for tuning in. The first half of the season has been all we wanted and then some, with amazing racing, finishes, and winners. And after the week off, NORC is back. The NORC field is gearing up for their run to the playoffs, kicking it off with a couple of unpredictable duels that can either make or break your season. Joe, thanks for joining me this evening, and no fast repairs in the pockets for any of these drivers. 30 laps of solid running, no pit stops. What are you thinking? What is in your mind when you come to a trek like this with only so few races left in the playoffs?
Well, Emerson, anytime you come to Talladega, it's a wild card event. The track is the longest you're going to see for an oval. It's one of the highest banked tracks that you could see for an oval, for a racetrack even, and people like to drive aggressive at Talladega. So while the field's split up tonight, these two races should be extremely exciting. Hopefully everybody keeps their wits about them and we don't get too many big issues and cautions throughout the race, because no fast repairs is definitely a piece of the puzzle you're going to have to work with intently if you want to get to the end of this race at the front. And that's very important for the points, for the playoffs. It's also very important just for the sake of winning at Talladega.
Exactly, and you look at that track map and the varying bankings in the corners, it's going to be a lot of fun, but a lot of fun for us. Maybe not so much fun if you're a driver near that cutoff line here on the playoff sheet. First, we'll talk about the drivers who are safe, and we have, Daniel Falkenham, the point leader, 34 points over Zoltan Herczeg, and his 4 wins on the season. Herczeg with 2. David Schutt, very consistent. He's third in points, 60 back of the point leader. Oxendine has 2 wins, but he's 4 back of Schutt. Then you have Will Klein, John Barry, Jared Darling. He's going to be one to watch tonight. We saw him very impactful at the front of last week's FTRL Substitute 150, and he's called his shot. He's told me that he's going to win one of these races tonight, so watch out for Jared Darling tonight. Zach Lindgren there in 8th, Aaron Smith the 2nd and 9th, and Brett Pancari the top 10. And now, Joe, we look at that cutoff, and this is where all these drivers are really hoping to get out of here with a decent points day.
Yeah, definitely don't want to be on the cutoff, getting closer and closer to that playoff run. And definitely, you look at these guys. I mean, Howie Briss is a little bit to the good, but Williams, Owens, Gossett, Lockie, I think all those guys are tight enough, even down to Miller, Shire, and Ariotti. I think everybody is so close right there that just any instance of points, a single position on the racetrack is going to make a difference at this point in the season. So it's definitely time to hunker down and get to the end of these races, get points, get bonus points. Those are the types of things that these guys might be looking for over the course of tonight's race.
And you speak of these races, let's take a look at the schedule we've had so far. We've gone through pretty much the entire gauntlet of tracks you can think of. We've gone from the super speedways at Daytona, the 1.5 mile at Kansas, the 2 mile D-shaped oval at Michigan, the tight short track, the throwback, if you will, at North Wilkesboro, and the flat 1.5 mile at Kentucky, the road course in Brazelton, Georgia. That's not even a road course on the NASCAR schedule at Road Atlanta, the 1 mile concrete layer of Dover, the 1.5 mile at Homestead, the 3 mile super speedway, the iRacing super speedway, the Iowa short track, Nashville, and then we're coming off the off week. The week before we had Auto Club, where we had Brett Pancari break through and get himself a win. Joe, we look at the second half of the season, and it's really not any more consistent. We still have a lot of different track types and a lot of types that these drivers need to be apt for if they're going to make a legitimate championship run.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Emerson. You look at the races before we get to the playoff cutoff. I mean, you got the 2 Talladega duels tonight, Martinsville, Paperclip, Road America, absolutely one of the most unique and exciting road courses that America has to offer. You go to Atlanta, and that old surface makes for some great racing, and then the Legacy Daytona, you talk about an old surface and a big racetrack. All of those tracks are the types of places that someone can have a great week and then a horrible week, or vice versa. So it gives everybody a chance to have one last good hurrah before we start off the playoffs. You go to Indianapolis, one of the mecca of motorsports, Texas, Bristol Dirt, Darlington. Those 3 races right in the midst of a lot of differences. Texas, a pretty standard one, a pretty standard oval. Bristol Dirt obviously is a dirt track. Darlington is Easter egg shaped. course, so that's always exciting. And then to Phoenix, Chicagoland, Las Vegas. It gets a little bit calmer at the very end of the season, but definitely with the field that NORC brings out every week, you can't count anyone out, and you can't let your guard down once we get there.
Absolutely, you cannot count anyone out at any of these racetracks. And I mean, we still have some outliers on there like Legacy Daytona, Bristol Dirt. A lot of fun still coming up on the schedule. But tonight we have the 2 NORC Talladega Duels, round 13 and 14 on the season. Before we get too far into business, as practice is wrapping up, we do have to shout out our partners here at Pit Stop TV, like Tucson Sound Art. Your picture, your music. You provide the image that you want, and they will custom create a beautifully framed, high-quality canvas with a built-in Bluetooth speaker. And with Sound Art, you get the best of both worlds. Visit TucsonSoundArt.com for additional info. Use promo code PitStopTV at checkout and receive 10% off of your wall-mounted sound art device. Ever wish you could have a race engineer on speed dial? Well, now you can, thanks to RacePace, a driver development service and setup shop all in one. Work with Tyler, a real-world race engineer, to step up your game before your next race. Pick up pace with RacePace. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy. Contact Permanent Makeup and Cryo in Maine at permanentmakeupinmaine.com, or you can call or text them at 207-358-8683. Whiplash Media specializes in various sim racing resources, including paint schemes, stream overlays, iRacing camera packs, and more. The official graphic and camera provider of Pit Stop TV. You can grab your iBroadcast cameras today at www.pitstoptv.com and BAM Racing Videos. By a race fan for the racing community. And now the timer has ticked over. We are well into the qualifying session. We know drivers are going to be aggressive at the front of the field, and drivers probably going to take it easy at the back of the field. But who is going to start on pole, and who's going to be... Whoever starts on pole, I think, is going to be fighting all 30 laps, or try to, at least, as long as they're up there, fight for that top spot. Let's see who we have out on the track. We have Tommy Gossett trying to get up to speed.
Yeah, so everybody's going to start coming out on track right now, and you're going to see sort of the strategy of how do you qualify well on a super speedway. You got to hug that bottom side line. You obviously, Tommy Gossett working up to the top side of the racetrack right now. On your warm-up lap, you'll go up to the very top, and then once you hit that timing strip, you're going to go to the bottom side. You're going to pin the car down there as well as you can. Just hook down, hunker down, keep the throttle pinned, and just go for it. That's all you can do, and that's all you can hope for. And getting a really good starting position is crucial at a track like this, because you want to stay out of trouble as much as you can, especially not having a fallback with the fast repair on board tonight.
So we watched Tommy Gossett get up to speed and get around the track. Let's also check in with last time out, the Auto Club race winner, the last NORC points race winner, Brett Pancari, in that pink number 35, getting himself up to speed. Pancari trying to go back-to-back and become a legitimate contender in this season's title hunt. Brett Pancari ripping a high side on that first lap, so he's going to put all his eggs into the second timed lap.
Yeah, so you can see Brent Pancari right now just hugging to the top side, and like Emerson said, he's going to try to go for it on lap number 2. You don't really have to worry about making too much of a wrong footing when you're at a track like this, or at least spinning out per se. You can definitely mess things up a little bit in your corner entry and exit when you're all alone, but for the moment, Brent Pancari, going to stay to that top side. And you mentioned, you know, right now, getting into the playoffs is really crucial, so another win would be especially helpful for Brett, but being a winner already is going to help significantly get to that playoff position. So Brent's just looking for some consistency in these last couple races.
Let's catch up with Jared Darling. It's Howie Briss. Now Tommy Gossett setting times on the chart. Jared Darling, like I said, he has told me personally that he has called his shot. He is going to win one of these races tonight. Let's see if that comes through. As times come across the line, we'll throw up the timing on the left-hand side of your screen. And it is Tommy Gossett by 9 1/1000ths over Cole Fralick and Spencer Ray within another 2 100ths. So it is very tight for the bowl time so far. Let's see who else we have out on the track. And let's catch up with, how about Hayes Booth, looking to try to get himself a great run. He's starting to string together some great runs here, Hayes. And here he goes to the bottom. He's committing to that bottom for that second lap, because this is pretty much as fast as you're going to get up to in these NASCAR Xfinity Series cars. And now it's all about not scrubbing speed.
Yeah, absolutely. I was wondering if maybe the strategy changes between drivers. As I had mentioned before, I was expecting the guys to run to the bottom side throughout their qualifying laps, but a lot of guys go up top for at least for lap one. So maybe there's some strategy to trying to not scrub off speed in the corners that they're trying to accomplish up there, and then also get a little bit extra momentum coming down the hill. We talk about Cole Fralick running second right now. Him, Tommy Gossett, Spencer Ray, top three right now. A bunch of guys who are really solid on super speedways, and I know personally Cole Fralick is an excellent plate racer, so there's definitely a lot of heavy hitters in the field tonight to watch out for. Hayes Booth being one of them, coming off of some more consistent performances lately.
I also look on the screen as Josh Robin goes top of the charts, and Hayes Booth will go 8th quickest out of, it looks like 15 drivers who have set lap times. Are also waiting on John Barry to get himself across the line. Actually, he's just crossed the line, and actually this is John's second lap that he's working on. Or actually, I don't think he set a valid first lap, so I think all his eggs are into one timed lap in that 74 car. Other drivers still out on the track. We have Scott List Rambler, Cody Miller, and that is it that are up to speed. Let's catch up with Scott List Rambler. Paint still loading in as he's ripping the top side in the trial. Well, he's not going to have enough time to set a lap time on the bottom side.
So there goes Scott List Rambler past the line, car number 139 tonight, and so Rambler stays to the top side. You see him staying in that very top line, what we call the Larson line occasionally out here, and he's staying above the paint, coming off the top. You'll see maybe he'll get a little extra momentum down that hill right there you saw, and that might carry that car faster down the back straightaway, which is what these guys are going to look for right now, just trying to find even just an instantaneous 10th, 100th, or 1000th to get there.
So John Barry is going to be the last driver to set a valid lap time in this session. It'll put him 14th out of 16 drivers. And we'll get to the starting lineup, I guess, before we really get into who's in this field. Because, of course, we'll see who's in this field in that starting lineup. But let's get down to it and let's go through it. And on the front row, we have the 8 of Josh Robin, taking pole away here for the first of the two NORC Talladega duels. Round 13 pole sitter Josh Robin. To his outside, we have the 00 of Tommy Gossett. How about it? In row number 2, we'll find the 15 of Cole Fralick and the 6 of Spencer Ray. Row number 3, we're going to find the 17 of Aiden Kirker and the 89 of Sean Williams. Row number 4, we'll find the 97 of Howie Briss, the 28 of Cody Miller, and in row number 5, we're going to find Hayes Booth and Jared Darling, double 1 and the number 1 in row number 5.
Throw it back to row number 6. You start on the inside with Dallas Myhand in car number 41 and Brent Pancari on the outside, defending winner from last time out. Go back to row number 7, starting in the 13th position. You've got Michael Keithley in car number 53, and his outside is going to be a familiar name, John Barry in the 74. Going back to 15th on the grid, you see Taylor Frey in car number 21, and Chad Oxendine, somebody we're used to seeing up front. We're going to have to watch that 66 machine, see how he can get it up there throughout these 30 laps. Go back to row number 9. You got Femi Olot on the inside in car number 18, and Daniel Falkingham in 18th on the grid in car number 20. You go back to row number 10, and you start on the inside with the yellow number 70 machine of Aaron Smith, and his outside is going to be Zoltan Herzeg in car number 96.
We find our way back to row number 11, and we're going to find, how about it, driver of the number 24, Bobby Cheney, and to his outside, the 23 of Ari Audi. Row number 12, we're going to find the 5 of David Shutt, the 25 of TCB. Row number 13, we'll find Spencer Owens and Justin Gable. Row number 14, it'll be Sheldon Lockie and Zach Lindgren. And back in the 15th row, we'll find Scott List Rambler and James Simmons.
Roll back behind there. You go back to 31st on the grid. Ethan Duenas in car number 54, and Scott Shire starting outside in 32nd. Go back to 33rd, all alone on the final row of this field. Shotgun is going to be the number 9 of Patrick Colby. Getting ready, they're rolling off on the front straightaway, Emerson, and the heartbeats are going to go up. The motors are going to start getting warm. We got 30 laps, and hopefully it doesn't get too crazy.
Well, you know, like you said, 30 laps, 100% fuel. There is no pit stops. It is straight up, get to the front at the end of lap 30. There's no games about it. You know, if there's any wrecks, you got to avoid them. But there's no pit stops, no tire saving. It is straight go as fast as you can for 30 laps. Now, what can you really do if they're all packed up 3 wide? You can't really go anywhere. You got to bide your time. You got to put yourself in the right line, find where the momentum's going to be. It's going to be it's going to be an intriguing race. It's going to be very entertaining up front, but if you're in the middle of that field, you got to be thinking from the drop of the green flag, if you're trying to work your way forward, where are you going to put yourself to best move forward? To keep track of that, or to keep along with that, you see the sun is shining very brightly on this back straightaway here. Sun's pretty low in the sky. You look at the air temp, it's at 66.5 degrees Fahrenheit. The track temp is 68 degrees Fahrenheit. A very cool racetrack. Winds only 5 miles per hour out of the northeast. These are some very interesting race conditions, Joe.
Yeah, you know, it's a lot cooler in Alabama than it is right now in Pennsylvania, I'll tell you that. But it should fare very well for the engines of the cars, should let them run out really nicely. And the track's kind of cool, so hopefully it's not too cool for some grip. But, I mean, pretty ideal conditions. A little bit of wind's going to help with the drafting, so that's also a really important part of this race you're going to have to watch out for.
Absolutely. And the field of 16.5 rows deep of NASCAR Xfinity Series cars, led by V8 of Josh Robin and the 00 of Tommy Gossett. We're about to see some of the best racing of this season as the iRacing.com pace vehicle finds its safety down the pit lane. The field will crawl at its 65 mile per hour pace speed and wait for the restart zone. These drivers are going to wait for the last possible moment. Josh Robin trying to stay connected to the server, blinking in and out. But we are green from Talladega. Down the back straightaway, you see on the outside lane, Brett Pancari trying to get something moving on the outside. 2 more cars jump up to join him. They're now working 3 wide on lap number 1. I believe it's John Barry heading the outside lane up there. We're getting feisty on lap 1.
They're going 3 wide, sort of the middle of the pack. A little bit of a block up the track right there from race leader Josh Robin. He wanted to get to the middle line before they got to the tri-oval, and he got there, but at what cost? That's actually not. So here they come to the line, and it's actually Cole Freilich had jumped out, and Cole Freilich doesn't like to wait. He leads lap 1. Tommy Gossett right on his tail.
Completion of lap 1 goes to Cole Freilich, but they're now 3 wide for the race lead. Josh Robin down low, Tommy Gossett up high, the middle line a little discombobulated. Is Josh Robin clear to the race lead? A huge push from Aiden Kirker.
Kirker scored as a 17 car on your screen. They've kind of gotten out a little bit of the ways in front of that 3 wide situation. That's safe. That's a good spot to be in, avoiding what could possibly go horribly wrong if something goes awry in the middle of that pack. You don't want to be in the midst of it. Cole Freilich leading the middle line, trying to hold on to those guys down on the bottom, but it seems like everybody's trying to gravitate to that bottom side line as Josh Robin's going to lead him through the tri-oval again.
Once again through the trial, which now Josh Robin, he's got a partner clear and trying to get Howie Brisk clear. Cole Freilich putting in the work, and TCB fan favorite goes with the fastest lap. Scott List Ramler goes fastest overall now, and that fastest lap is going to change, and that fastest lap is going to come from deep within the field. Josh Robin leads right now. Aiden Kirker, Howie Brisk, Cole Freilich, Hayes Booth has worked his way into the top 5. He's the 4th car in that inside lane. The outside lanes really need to get some muscle up there. That outside lane is fading. The middle lane needs to get some cars lined up. It's just Freilich and Spencer Ray dropping like a rock in the middle.
Yeah, they're really the only cars trying to promenade in the middle line. You see now Aiden Kirker's going to jump up to that top end, and with a little bit of momentum, he maybe could have got a little help from Cole Freilich right there, but he jumps to the way top side, and that is going to take him out of contention to lead this lap. As Josh Robin continues to lead it, Cole Freilich coming to the line right now in second. Him and Howie Brisk having a nice battle right there as Josh Robin easily leads the way.
Look at the field, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, and then another row of 3. 15 cars packed up 3 wide. Nobody giving an inch. There's no real inches to give. Down the back straightaway, they're 3 wide for the race lead. It's Aiden Kirker with the advantage on the top side as they get down into turn 3 and clears right back down to the bottom in front of the blinking number 8.
So back to the front put Aiden Kirker. He brought Jared Darling up a bit with that. Jared Darling now running in front of Cole Freilich in the middle line. Aiden Kirker down on the bottom side will ride on board with Spencer Race. He follows the car sponsored by Racing Nation TV and the Rain Race podcast. The Madman Cole Freilich pushing evidently all over Jared Darling at the line. He was getting kind of squirrely, but he does keep it under control. Jared Darling now moves to the bottom side. He will lead Aiden Kirker on that one.
Jared Darling gets clear to the lead. We're watching right now in the middle, in the heart of the storm is right here. The eye of the storm, Michael Keefley pushing that number 6 Toyota Supra right in front of him, trying to get his way forward. That outside lane, still trying to make some hay. Tommy Gossa heading that outside lane. Now Cole Freilich jumps out of line. We're seeing all of the chaos happen right in front of the 9th place driver, Michael Keefley. Actually, he's up to 6. It's just going to continue to change throughout the lap.
Yeah, the top side's kind of fading right now. Cole Freilich is on the front end of that one, but there's only 4 cars up top. Spencer Ray leading Keefley in the middle. They're still kind of holding on as Jared Darling has a pretty solid position to lead this lap, and maybe a few more. Aiden Kirker gives him a nice push behind it. Once again, we're seeing that 8 car blinking in and out as Spencer Ray gets a really great run in the middle. Actually, he's going to fight for that race lead through turn 1.
Well, that middle lane was stalled out about half a lap ago. Now there's really no organized help on the inside lane, and it's now Spencer Ray trying to get the advantage down the back. Jared Darling with the bottom side and a huge push from Kirker. Josh Robin blinking in and out of the server is not going to help that inside lane one bit. They're really struggling to get a consistent push down there, but Jared Darling and company on the inside lane still holding strong.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that's one of the most nerve-wracking things you could possibly see in a race like this. Josh Robin now jumps out of line right there. He might have been getting yelled at over the voice chat by everybody else that he was blinking too much to be running in the pack like he is. That is just one of those things in iRacing you cannot do. It is such a difficult thing to deal with when you're following a car that's blinking, and it's very nerve-wracking to see it behind you as well. You're on board with Jared Darling running the bottom side now. All 3 lanes have kind of caught back up to each other. Cole Freilich leads the top side. We got Spencer Ray in the middle, and down below, Jared Darling leads Aiden Kirker. They get a nice run off the bottom side down the back straightaway, but Cole Freilich's got some momentum, and he's pushing up top.
Contact, everybody's scattering, everybody, are they going to save it? Into turn 3, there's a little bit of confusion in the middle of the pack, but everybody's still going the correct direction. Everybody scatters. Cole Freilich, the driver, out in front, ahead of Tommy Gossett now in that outside lane. A huge push from John Barry.
Barry giving the push to Gossett. I think Gossett's got the advantage at the line this time, so we're going to see Tommy Gossett lead this lap. Cole Freilich a little bit less momentum at the line. You'd seen him get that jump into turn 3 when everybody else was trying to woe it down and keep control of their race cars. He got out front, but he got eaten up real quick from that draft. That's going to be a very important part of the race as we continue on.
Riding on board with the 9 of Patrick Colby, who's kind of looking at the entire lead pack work itself out. I know the entire lead pack wants to get back to 3 wide, or maybe not the entire group, but everybody wants to work their way forward in some way, shape, or capacity. It's a relatively short race as opposed to most league races. We're already working lap 8 of 30 for tonight's race. There are now only 2 real I guess, noticeable lanes. Hayes Booth hung out to dry on the outside. He's got a spot right behind the 53 of Michael Keefley there and right in front of Spencer Ray. Keefley drops down, and now there's only 2 real distinct lanes here from opposed to the 3 wide racing we were watching the entire first 7 laps of this race.
Yeah, we're kind of starting to get into a rhythm, and we're getting into the middle point of this race. So while Cole Freilich is all over the place right now behind Tommy Gossett, the rest of the guys probably wanting to calm it down a little bit and get through the midpoint of this race, get to the end before they start making the big moves. You can see way to the top side, actually, as I said it, John Barry looked way to the top, and I think that's going to fade out for him. TCB pushing heavily on Cole Freilich in the middle as they come through 3 and now 4. Cole Freilich just barely had that lead. Tommy Gossett gets it back on the inside.
John Barry had no help up there, so he's going to fade back, and it's now TCB rocketing Cole Freilich to the front in that middle lane. Cody Miller there, the 3rd car in line. Gossett getting a huge push from Darling. It's Freilich at the line that time by at the completion of lap 9. Cole Freilich trying to get the advantage, and TCB, he is not giving up. He's trying to push that 15 forward, but there's only 4 cars now left up on that outside lane, or middle lane, if you will. It's only Freilich, TCB, Cody Miller, and Aiden Kirker. The inside lane also has about 4, but help is coming.
Yeah, just as you said that, Emerson, the tail end of that group was starting to make some noise and catch back up. And I think that's going to be kind of the way things go here. It's going to kind of rubber band back and forth. So we might see moments where there's a bit of a gap in the leaders and the cars behind, but it will clear up and squeeze back in very quickly. Again, you're on board with Hayes Booth. He's looking down the tri-oval with a ton of momentum on the inside, but you're going to see he can't really do anything with it. He's just going to have to woe it down and keep it in behind Shrek right here.
Shrek. Michael Keithley there in the 53, and you love to see it. The big ogre looking back at you. That's got to be something to. That's got to be an image to put in your head while you're racing at Talladega. But two distinct lines, and nobody really trying to make a third line work at the moment. Everybody kind of playing nice for now. Taylor Frey has joined the top 10 along with Sean Williams and Ariati. So some new players to the mix up here. Can they stay and play is now the next question. As Fraley got shuffled out of line. A huge check up there. I believe Ariati was trying to get going forward, and now Fraley kind of had other plans, or forced him to have other plans anyway. Ariati, he's got a little bit of help on that outside lane with the 13 of Justin Gable, and another car in tow. That's the 139 of Scott List Rambler.
Yeah, I had seen David Shutt up there with Ariati to the way topside about a lap or two ago. As we're coming up on some lap traffic, this is going to be really interesting to see what happens here. They're going 3 wide, and they're all getting right back bunched up together as they come out of turn 2. This is going to be interesting, and we're going to see what happens as they come down the back straightaway.
TCB and Jared Darling side by side. Now Cody wants to make a push down the middle. He thinks better of it, or is, I guess, forced to back out of it. Jared Darling, a great push. TCB trying to get something from Tommy Gossett. Daniel Falkingham is going to go a lap down early in this mess. I believe he was expecting an early yellow, and now he's going to have to play it safe. By the way, he's got a 34-point lead coming into today's race. He can't afford this in one race. I don't know about both.
Yeah, that's a really great point, and I was kind of also expecting a yellow early. We almost got one right there. Cole Freilich holding on to that thing. Cody Miller and him just got a little close for comfort as they came through the Tri-Oval's exit. They go back through 1 and 2. The field bunches up tight again out of the corner. Jared Darling and TCB leading the way. They are all over each other right now. Tommy Gossett with a ton of momentum right behind TCB.
You can see Cole Freilich trying to make that third line work, but he's really got no help. Now Scott List Rambler potentially jumping that line. He is. John Barry coming to the rescue as well. This outside lane starting to have some power to come and play. TCB is clear to the race lead over Tommy Gossett and Jared Darling.
This is getting more and more interesting, and we're not even halfway through it. TCB leads the way. Jared Darling on the top side. He's leading that charge with Cody Miller's help. Tommy Gossett down low, trying to get that 25 car out in front, but Jared Darling says, nuh-uh, I'm coming on. And right now, the top line's got a ton of momentum. Cole Freilich giving a nice shove up there as well to Scott List Rambler.
The NASCAR driver in the field, Femi Olot, has gone purple that last time around, but 3 wide for the race lead, and it is Scott List Rambler going to the lead at Talladega. He's got a huge push from Cole Freilich. Is he clear of Jared Darling into turn 3? He is not, but he's got Cole Freilich staying loyal behind. Cody Miller now has to work on getting that one car out in front.
You saw Scott List Rambler and Cole Freilich. They went from the top line to the middle. They have Ariati right behind him right now to help him to the line. Rambler maybe a little loose into the tri-oval. He's going to lead this lap. Cole Freilich's going to give him a nice shove into turn number 1. Try to keep him up front. Ariati jumps to the top line. He's going to see if he can get some help and maybe make a push to the line. We're going to be halfway through this race. So we got 15 down, 15 to go when we come back. And oh boy, has it been exciting.
Bobby Chaney went purple last time by the start-finish line. Again, it's going to continue to change. Bobby Chaney, by the way, he is in 22nd position. He's getting the draft off of 21 other vehicles, and a block to the bottom side for Scott List Rambler. He gets clear out in front of Jared Darling, and that was an aggressive move to the bottom side. Now Darling is clear also of the field, and Darling is forced to go wide. A little bit of contact between the rear end of Rambler's car, and now Cody Miller goes to the middle. Cody Miller trying to take the race lead. Cody Miller to the race lead.
Yeah, Cody Miller capitalized on Cole Freilich's momentum right there. He's going to jump right back out in front and slide down in front of Scott List Rambler. Rambler a little aggressive there that last lap, and that's something we can watch from Scott List Rambler as we get closer to the end of this race. Cole Freilich jumped to the top side this time. Rambler now following Cody Miller. They're out pretty clearly for the exact moment that Taylor Frey now is going to charge on car number 21, a newcomer to the front in this race, and we could see a race for the first spot into turn number 3.
Taylor Frey trying to take the race lead, a push from John Barry. 3 wide for third on back. Tommy Gossett trying to rocket up the inside. Help from Sean Williams deeper in the pack. 3 wide to the line. It's Taylor Frey in the middle. Cody Miller down low. Cole Freilich up high. And then it is Taylor Frey leading at the line.
Taylor Frey just proved a point. You can wait and go to the front at the end of this event, so sparing any big incidents, that could be something to think about when we get closer to the end of this race. 4 or 5 laps to go. A couple laps from now, we got plenty of time till we get there. We got plenty of action going on the racetrack. A couple guys clear to the bottom side to avoid some incidents. That's going to leave Cody Miller way up front, and that's going to leave Taylor Frey out of draft.
Oh, cars darting to the apron. They're going to go 4 wide with a car on the apron. Taylor Frey trying to hold on to that 21. Up the track in front of David Shutt. Everybody holds on. The blinking Josh Robin has made an appearance. And boys, here comes Femi Olot.
Femi Olot coming onto the bottom line. He's going to be right behind TCB and Cody Miller, and they come to the line with Josh Robin now jumping in tow as well. Cole Freilich trying to make Ariati and himself work on the top side. John Barry leading the middle. He's got Shrek right behind him. Michael Keithley, car number 53. The 4-car run on the bottom side clears away. What an advantage they've got right now.
The field rocketing their way down the back straightaway. It's now TCB jumping out of line. Help from Femi Olot. To the race lead is going TCB, and he's got eNASCAR driver in tow. No, he leaves Femi Olot. They're side by side for the race lead.
Josh Robin blinking, but helping Femi Olot behind. Cody Miller down on the bottom side, helping TCB. John Barry and Jared Darling starting to get close. This could shake things up a little bit as they come out of turn number 4. They're going to go 3 wide. Josh Robin blinks out, but he went to the top side. Wait for him to show up. There he is. And the bottom 2 lanes just take complete control of it as they come to the line again. TCB is going to lead this lap. We'll see who leads the next one. This is getting intense with just over 10 laps to go.
Correct. There is 12 laps left in this race. 12 laps to decide it. I don't know if it's going to be enough. I think these boys still want more. Well, the good news is they'll have another 30 laps to settle it in a short amount of time after the checkered flag after this race. But here comes Femi Olot. A push from Jared Darling. He's got him and Ariati and more in tow. Femi Olot to the front. Can he hold it out there?
The Interstate Batteries, number 18, that green Toyota Supra on the middle run. Right now, TCB on the bottom side with the Stacker 2, number 25. He leads the charge out of the corner. Cody Miller dropped a little bit below that yellow line. Stays under control of that machine. They come back through the tri-oval. They're 3 wide, a little bit back. Gonna have to watch out for that one as they come past 11 more laps, 11 more times before we see what comes of this race. TCB's got a lot of pressure from Femi Olot, who's gonna take some momentum and get the race lead momentarily into turn number 1, but right on the bottom side, TCB's not giving up yet.
Down the back straightaway, there's still 3 distinct lanes working it now. TCB, Femi Olot, the front 2, and then is that James Simmons working his way up on the outside. Simmons trying to power his way to the front.
Right now, Simmons trying to get the top side to work. That car number 33. They're 3 wide. Oh,
Ariati jumped that line.
Ariati out of the way now as they come past again. They might go 4 wide in the tri-oval. They do. Cole Freilich tries to make the top side work on his own. Cole Freilich knows it's go time. David Shutt getting a little loose in the middle. Ariati going to squeeze all the way up, and Cole Freilich's going to get a little bit of help.
Oh, no.
Oh, man, that was close. If it's going to get any closer than that, it's going to be a wreck. Cole Freilich just barely keeping off of the rest of the guys. That was Scott with Ramler on the inside, and in front of him, Ariati. Now they're getting a little squiggly-wiggly down the back straightaway, as up front, TCB still has pretty solid control of this one.
Look at the field. It's manifesting. It is time to go. By the way, they just went 4 wide through the tri-oval with no problem.
I don't know how many more times we're going to be able to pull that one off, though, Emerson. It's getting intense in the mid-pack right now, and with so little time left, people are going to start making some pretty bold moves, and I'm just waiting. I'm hoping that we can keep it clean, because, wow, these guys are close together. If something goes wrong, it's going to go wrong quick right now.
We're on board with the 89 of Sean Williams. He's down to the 14th position on that inside lane. You see he's working his way by Cole Freilich and Scott List Rambler. On that middle lane, you have Zoltan Hertzeg making an appearance on the outside lane. Hertzeg, we haven't mentioned that name in the top 10. He's here to play. And he's going to the front. Ariati now pushing Femi Olot to the point.
Femi Olot leading now. Ariati look to the outside. He's going to see if he can get Zoltan Hertzeg and Hayes Booth to help him out up top. Right now, Jared Darling leads the bottom side. The bottom side still seems to be the way to go if you want to be able to carry a little extra momentum. Whoa! 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 What a save by TCB right there. He just almost cleared himself off of Femi Olot, and that was crazy. And he's going to lead the lap too. Watch out, TCB's coming on.
What a save. What a catch from Jared Darling and TCB in front of the field. That, I believe everybody, the next 10-15 cars behind them, were all had their hearts skip a beat there. And it's now Femi Olot and TCB side by side for Voracely. Justin Gable into the mix. Here comes the 139 of Scott List Rambler.
Simmons now making a run out of the middle line. He's got Gable and Audi behind him. Scott List Rambler to the top side, trying to make that line manifest, not quite going the way he needs it to. Femi Olot leads the way on the bottom side. TCB, Jared Darling, Cody Miller. That's the line down low. The middle starting to make some time up. Darling and Gable made a little bit of contact there in the tri-oval.
Here we go. Now we have 7 laps remaining in this race. It's Femi Olot now clear to the lead. The outside lane dying back a little bit. That's James Simmons in a 33 leading the outside. TCB holding station in second. They got really close for third. Jared Darling trying to get clear on that inside lane. Now there's some momentum shaping up in the back of the pack. Cole Freilich. I'm sorry, that is Cole Freilich trying to get that outside lane to work, and he's got some company with him. And now Hayes Booth jumps out of line. Freilich going to try to work with Hayes Booth. Keithley wants to jump out there. He thinks he's still thinking about it. Is he going to? He's going to get forced back to the middle lane. You got to make that move. You got to make that decision quickly. We're coming around to 6 laps to go.
Hayes Booth leads the way. That Rusty's number 95 up top, or number 11, I should say, as somebody jumps up top to go with them. They're still running first and in the bottom lane. Ooh, that was close. They're 4 wide in turn 1.
Michael Keithley, Justin Gable, Hayes Booth, and John Barry all went 4 wide in the turn 1. And somehow, some way, we're all living to tell the story on the other side of turn 2.
I cannot believe how well these guys have raced each other so close through this race so far. Jared Darling, Femi Olot leading the charge. Everybody's still pretty clean. TCB getting a little loose there in the middle. Up top, Michael Keithley leading the charge. David Shutt, Ariati also behind. They're trying to make that third line work. We're getting closer and closer. 5 laps to go this time. It could be anybody's race still at the line.
Femi Olot still heads the pack. TCB, Jared Darling, Cody Miller. Those usual 4 you've heard in the top 4 pretty much all race long. James Simmons, Michael Keithley, John Barry, Justin Gable, David Shutt making his first appearance in the top 10, and Cole Freilich. Some other drivers that have, come and gone throughout the race.
I think that's a great way to describe maybe the mentality that's been going on with some of these guys. They make a run up to the front and then kind of hold back and try not to get into any trouble. I was wondering about Zoltan Hertzeg when he made his run to the front, if that was maybe just sort of a test, explore and see if he's going to be able to get that 96 car to do that sort of thing at the end of the race, because he's outside the top 20 right now, and if he's going to do it, he's going to have to make that charge start right now, because we're getting closer and closer to the end of this race.
It has been an absolutely phenomenal race. Once again, 4 wide in the trial. David Shutt all the way by the outside wall. How about it now with 4 laps to go from the Talladega Super Speedway? It's Olot down low. TCB up high. Jared Darling calling his shot, saying he's going to win one of these 2 races. Well, he's in prime position there in third. Now clearing to second in front of TCB. He jumps up to block TCB, trying to get the run down to the inside. Femi Olot back blocking down to the bottom side. Jared Darling was trying to get his own line led, and Femi Olot was not letting that happen.
That was scary. That was nerve-wracking right there, seeing Darling jump up in between those two lanes and then jump back down. He kind of hit a little bit of a thwart on the momentum on the bottom side, but now he's going to have that advantage. Femi Olat jumps to the middle to block TCB's run, get a little bit of help from 25. Jared Darling's now going to get some help from Cody Miller, maybe make some run out of it. They're coming to the line again, 3 to go. Olat jumps back down to the bottom side. TCB's got to run on the middle.
He's not a Pro Series driver for nothing. He is playing the line game. He is playing both lanes. It's like he's got a spotter with him to tell him where more cars were packed up, because when he jumped out to the middle line, there was definitely more cars in the middle line. Now the inside line, through the corners, and back to the middle line, down the straightaway. It's TCB, Jared Darling, Cody Miller, James Simmons still trying to chase Femi Olat, playing the game perfectly, but can he do it? 2 more circuits around.
Man, I can't believe they didn't wreck that time down the back straightaway. They were all over the place in the middle of that track. Femi Olat got a car on his quarter panel. That's TCB getting a little bit of help from Simmons behind. Darling giving a shove to the bottom line. TCB is going to lead the lap this time. Gable is in line in the middle as well. And that's Howie Briss trying to make the top side work as well. The Exalted car way up there. You can see they come through 1 and 2, 3 lines working together. Bo Fralick put a little bit of a gap in between himself and these guys up front. Might be driving a little bit of a smart race, waiting for something to happen here with a lap and a half to go.
Can anybody make any contact? TCB! He's gonna go around, he's gonna save it. Are they gonna wreck it? They're wrecking. Big wreck, back straight away. Huge wreck. So many cars involved.
So many cars who were in running to win this race now involved. Scott Lisrammer, David Schutt, Zach Lindgren. I saw a couple more, and we waited all the way to coming to the white flag for that to happen. Zoltan Herzeg got a bit of damage as well. Just a lot of cars involved in this one.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, we're going to get a replay of that. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Daniel Falkingham just got his lap back at the very end of the... Well, we think is the very end of the race. We'll figure that out on the other side. But let's get a replay and see just exactly what happened. A lot to unpack in this incident.
Yeah, we'll see if we can run it down. It might take a couple tries because there were just so many cars involved in this accident. You see him coming out of turn number 2 right here. TCB leading the middle line, Femi Olat way down low. And let's see, so Cody Miller jumps in a little bit, not too much of an instance there. Scott Lisrammer makes it 4 wide, and TCB got loose. And then it was actually Josh Robin and John Barry when everybody started checking up that really got the bulk of the crash going. But you can see here David Schutt, John Barry, Zach Lindgren, and I mean Zoltan Herzeg, everybody. There's so many cars involved in this crash. So
many cars involved, indeed. I don't quite know what to make of it other than, well, that's a lot of faster pairs burned. Or, well, actually, there's no faster pairs. That's a lot of cars junked and pretty much out of the running for this race. But here we go, another aerial shot. We'll be able to see more of the calamity afterwards there. There's the initial contact between Darling and TCB, and Josh Robin and John Barry made contact, and around they went into the middle of the field. This wreck actually, I guess, was smaller than it was on the initial live look, but at the same time, there's just smoke everywhere, so I can't really tell. But
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It still looks pretty large there, Emerson. Even, I mean, it left a lot of great cars in the race, but that was pretty major. And even a lot of people getting small amounts of damage. I saw Ariati involved in it just a little bit, Howie Briss. Like, it hurt a lot of guys right here. The arrow on those cars is going to be much more difficult to deal with.
Yep, once again, pit stops are not going to be a factor, so we're going to be able to take a few more replays of this wreck. And there's the massive part of the wreck there. This is the live view, a little bit centered on the crash here. Just so many cars washed down to the apron of the racetrack down there. Ramler, Schutt, Lindgren, Myhand. So many cars.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage, and that's going to leave some pretty good cars up front now, too. I was looking at Cole Fralick was the guy I was really looking at when he put a little bit of a gap between himself and Cody Miller as maybe something smart that he was trying to give himself some space right here. You see him actually behind John Barry as you're watching these cars come down the back straight again. There were a lot of guys just trying to avoid any sort of incident that got really lucky, and actually it's not that many. It's really not that many who got around that.
Ariotti was up on his side at one point in that wreck, so he was able to get back on all fours and continue on. But we'll get back and we'll see what's left of this field right here, and well, we'll recap from there. There's a lot of cars in the pit lane, but I'd imagine we still have over 20 that are still running. It is Femi Olot, the race leader, over Jared Darling, James Simmons, Cody Miller, and Cole Freilich.
Yeah, and those are some of the fastest cars we've had so far tonight, and a lot of really great super speedway drivers left at the front end. I mean, Femi Olot, I don't have to speak much on Femi Olot for being an e-NASCAR driver. Jared Darling, he called his shot earlier. He said he was going to win a race. He's in a prime position to do it. James Simmons, Cody Miller, Cole Freilich, TCB, a lot of guys who've been up at the front. Even Taylor Frey and Josh Robin have been two guys who have made some noise so far in this race to prove that they have what it takes to get their car to the front. And I think right now, I wouldn't even want to be starting in the front row. I'd want to start a couple rows back, not too far, but a little bit back to be able to have a shot at a good draft and a good run at the very end of the race.
Well, we will see right here. Are we getting to 1 to green here? And we are getting to 1 to green, so we'll leave these drivers be as they get ready for their first overtime attempt here for round number 13 in season 13 of NORC competition. Let's take a look and see how the weather has changed since we have started. The track temp has risen, so we started in sunrise. Track temp, well, actually, I don't know about that because the air temp is still 66.5 degrees, but the track temp has gained 2 degrees Fahrenheit. That I would just assume is from the racing we've had. Winds have calmed down a bit, down 3 miles per hour from what we had earlier, and the intensity, now that has not calmed down. We'll take a look at the race info and, you know, working our first caution of the day, but 22 lead changes in 30, well, at this point, 32 laps. That is not bad.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting race, and you've seen a lot of different people come up to the front and fall back a little bit. It's sort of a rotating door right now of who's up front, but at the moment, we've got a lot of cars involved in that incident that are not going to be able to rotate in that group anymore, unfortunately for them. So they're just going to have to get ready for the second race because, I mean, 2 30-lap events tonight. You can take what you learned in this one and bring it to the next race and hopefully be able to bring some more speed and a little bit more smarts into your strategy when you go into that 30-lap race and maybe put together a good run there.
So, I will recap at least who is out of the event thus far. We have Chad Oxendine is confirmed out. We also have Ariotti, who's on the pit lane, along with Zoltan Hertzeg and Dallas Myhan. There's several drivers with damage at the back of the field, like John Berry, David Shutt, Howie Briss. Then Daniel Falkingham is down in 26th. He is the lucky dog for this caution. He got his lap back. He's going to be looking to go from somehow 26th to 1st in 2 laps. We'll see how that goes. The iRacing.com pace car is going to attempt to find its safety in the pit lane. We're going to try this here. It's the first restart of the day, and it is an overtime restart. Femi Olot, Jared Darling, James Simmons, Cody Miller, Cole Freilich, TCB. Man, I am ready. As we work our way through the tri-oval, we are green from Talladega. The top 5 have broken away. I'd imagine some damaged vehicles had a part in that, but it's still the 4 names that I've been saying for about the past 10 laps that are doing. Well, actually, James Simmons has exchanged with TCB up here. James Simmons has inserted himself into the fight. There's some runs manifesting in the back. They're going 4 wide back there.
Yeah, definitely that back group is going to slowly catch back up to these guys, and that top line really got a great run. Frey is leading the way. Tommy Gossick, Cole Freilich behind them. This top 4, they're going to get swallowed right now as Frey's going to lead to the top side. Not going to get it at the line. 1 lap to go. Presented by Tucson Sound Art this time. Jared Darling's going to get it here. Is he going to get it when they come back around? Femi Olot maybe going to try to make a run out of the bottom side. Not quite there yet. The middle line's the place to be.
4 wide. Zach Lindgren way up high, trying to make something work. Scott Listler jumps out line. Contact for the lead. Olot, Darling holding on. They save it. James Simmons down low. 3 wide for the race nicely down the back straightaway at Talladega for the final time. The field roars to life. Jared Darling, he's fading back in this instance. Femi Olot still out in front now. James Simmons to the top spot. He's got a push from Aiden Kirker. Cole Fraley trying to make something happen down low. Everybody fans out. Anything is legal. Contact for the lead. There goes James Simmons. And here comes the back. They're all wrecking. Hayes Booth's getting turned. Cars up and over. And then it's Femi Olot winning at Talladega.
Wow, that was just oh gosh, somebody went absolutely into the wall right there. Huge crash on the front stretch coming to the line right there. Just got all sorts of unraveled in the tri-oval. And how about Femi Olot just stayed out of harm's way? And look who got second, Patrick Colby out of nowhere.
And that's just how quickly things happen. Patrick Colby gets a second. Last week's winner, Brett Pancari, he'll edge out a sixth. And oh boy, we're going to take one quick look at that final lap just to see how everything happened. And we'll see the celebration from Femi Olot.
That was crazy. So here he comes. Okay, Simmons gets loose right in the front. That bunches them all back up on the top side. A little bit of contact right there between himself and Kirker. And then it just all unravels and crashing and weaving and wobbling. And oh my goodness gracious. All over the place they go. I can't even name every car in that crash. It'd be easier to name who's not in it. Because Femi Olot and Patrick Colby really the only two that got through there.
Absolutely. And we're going to find Femi Olot right now, and here he goes. I think he just came to a stop. So he is not going to celebrate, but we will, we're going to go ahead and try to bring him on in. Let's see if we can find him here. While we wait, trying to get driver interviews here. Let's go through the race results, shall we? And it is Femi Olot again with the win over Patrick Colby. Cole Fralick is credited with third, and Nathan Dunyas from out of nowhere. We didn't mention his name once. He comes home in fourth. Bobby Cheney fifth. Brett Pancari sixth. Sheldon Lockie seventh. Spencer Ray in eighth. James Simmons ninth, and Scott List Rambler in 10th.
A lot of names up there that we hadn't talked about. Spencer Owens is going to be coming home P11, another name we didn't really see much of tonight. Michael Keithley in the 53 car will get 12th. Daniel Falkingham somehow raveled a 13th out of what happened on that last lap. Hayes Booth's going to get P14. Zach Lindgren is going to be 15th. Scott Shire will be 16th. Sean Williams in 17th. Then you got TCB, Tommy Gossett, and Aaron Smith, 18th through 20th, rounding out a group of guys who had some speed and had some momentum throughout this run.
On to the next page results. It's John Barry there in 21st. Jared Darling's 22nd. Howie Briss 23rd. Cody Miller 24th. Josh Robin 25th. Taylor Frey, who was up in the air and basically in the catch fence, he'll cross the line in 26th. David Schutt 27th. Justin Gable 28th. Aiden Kirker gets scored nearly a lap down in 29th. Actually, I believe he was a lap down. And he comes home in 29th there. And Ariotti, one of the DNFs, down in 30th.
You go back to the rest of the guys who did not finish this race. Dallas Myhan finished 5 laps down alongside Zoltan Hertzeg. They were all involved in that first incident that we saw. And then Chad Oxendine, unfortunately, had some connection issues at the very beginning of this race and did not get out on track. That's going to hurt a championship run to get some points out of race 1 here tonight. But fortunately for Chad, he can get back in and try to get something out of the next step in the next race in not too long.
Well, I don't believe we are going to get our race winner at the moment. We're still looking. But we do for sure have the opportunity to talk to our second place finisher, Patrick Colby. Patrick, from out of nowhere, you're coming across the line in second. Did you ever expect that on the final lap?
I expected a wreck, but not to completely avoid all of it.
Absolutely. Talk about all the mayhem and working your way. Well, I guess the first actual 30 laps of the race, or 29 laps before the caution. What's going through your mind? What was your game plan, that 9 car?
Just staying away from it enough that I could see it, because I mean the wreck was going to happen. Everybody was all over the place, just trying to stay out of the mess, and it ended up going green for the most part. So
Fair enough. So you found out, you saw the wreck happen around lap 29. Was it about when you expected? Did you expect it to happen earlier? And then talk about getting through that.
I did expect it to happen a little bit earlier. The first wreck was pretty easy. I was able to see it and just kind of get on the brakes and get slowed up before I piled into it. So that one was easy to avoid.
Fair enough. So you're lined up on the restart, and anything can happen. Is it just foot to the floor and figure out a way when you get there, or was there any thought process into that final restart?
Yeah, if there was an opening, just take it and keep the foot to the floor. I had to lift a little bit to try not to wreck Daniel at one point, but it was just picking a lane, picking an opening, and I happened to guess the right one.
Absolutely. So, did you learn anything for the next race coming up in a few minutes?
Probably just going to try and do the same thing. It worked out well for me once. We might as well try it again.
Right, fair enough. So, congratulations on your second place finish, Patrick. We're going to give you the floor now. Whoever you got to shout out, whoever you got to thank, this is your time.
Oh, geez. Not really anybody. I just wanted to say hi to my beautiful fiance, Leah. We just got engaged about a week ago, so I know she's kind of watching, and I hope she enjoyed that.
Absolutely. Well, once again, congratulations on the second place finish, Patrick, and best luck to you in the next race coming up here in a few minutes.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Right on. And so that was second place finisher, driver of the number 9, Patrick Colby. We're going to get third place finisher, Cole Freilich, and he's saying bye with Joe Donahue.
Yes, indeed, Emerson. I'm going to get the immense pleasure to bring my very handsome friend Cole Freilich into the booth. Cole, you were involved in that wreck, but you still got third out of it somehow.
I think we were in both wrecks there, but yeah, that was a little more insane than I was expecting it to be. Yeah, that was. I hope everybody enjoyed the show there. That was pretty wild.
Now, Cole, you want to talk about wild? We'll talk about your driving style the whole way through this race. We call you the Madman for a reason. You did not give up on staying up at the front end of the field. What was the game plan trying to stay up front? Was it to try to stay out of trouble, or are you just trying to go for extra points, extra runs to stay up front as long as possible and try to retain a spot in the front of the line?
Well, we had the paint scheme of the Buckeye Bullet Dave Blaney on the car, so I figured it was just a good idea to stay up front there, and that thing was an absolute rocket ship. We'll be in a different car for this one. It's the usual paint, but yeah, the key was there, just trying to stay in the right line, but it seemed like that top side was not working at all. So that's something I picked up on for the next race, but next race is only going to get more wild.
Yeah, so you obviously ran 30 laps right here. What sort of expectations, what sort of knowledge do you take out of the race you just had? How is it going to change your driving style? How is it going to change your strategy for the next 30-lap event to try to see if you can take it to first and stay on the podium but get a couple spots up from there from this point?
Well, if they start wrecking on the backstretch again, I'm going to go even lower because I got a shot in the door there, and I think that hurt us a little bit. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to change much. That's my driving style. I'm that aggressive, and we're going to stick to that, and I think we got a good shot to win this one.
Well, absolutely. Anytime you go to a super speedway, Cole Freilich's got a shot at a victory. Cole, so congratulations on the third. It might not be a win, but it's a very solid performance for you here in the first of these duels. Who do you got to thank? Who do you got to shout out here on the broadcast before we set you loose for another one?
I got to thank Kyle Cuthbertson, Racing Nation TV, for being on the car. I got to thank you for being my pit sign, even though I didn't get to use it this race. Thanks to Andrew Brodsky, who runs CFM Esports. Those guys build good cars for us, and yeah, just thanks to Revan for putting on this league, because it gets quite chaotic, but it's really fun to do every Tuesday night.
Agree with that 100% there, Cole. So good luck for the next one. Congratulations on the third, and maybe we'll be talking to you again before the night is over.
Hopefully. Appreciate it, buddy.
And that was Cole Freilich, and we do now have Femi Olot in the waiting room, so we're going to hand the microphone back over to Emerson Arden. He's going to talk to your race winner quickly before we get into race 2.
With race winner, driver of the number 18, Femi Olot. And Femi, first, before the overtime restart and all of that, we saw you playing both lanes and playing it beautifully. For a moment, there was a couple moments that got a little hairy, but from your point of view, how was it trying to play the bottom side and the middle lane all throughout those waning laps where the intensity is just continuing to ramp up?
Yeah, this car is just about, like, if you're in the lead, you just gotta control the lanes, and by control the lanes, I mean control like who's getting hot when, and how you can get the run to know when you can move up, and that's what I was trying to do right there before the green light checkered. I honestly don't even know what even happened throughout that whole race. I feel like I was just chilling the whole race. I went to get Bobby Cheney, and then all of a sudden, I literally just went from like the last car in the field with Bobby to like leading the race, and then obviously the green light checkered happened. I don't even know what happened there. Off of 2, I think Jared and I net coded, and then like it shot me down the track, and I turned back right to not wreck, and like I started getting net coded with Cody Miller or something. But I mean, and then at the tribal was just like, I don't even know, but I'm just happy that I won.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you could really tell what had happened. Talk about maybe the first wreck and maybe watching all that kind of unfold in your mirror. I think Jared was trying to follow you, and then that's where the initial contact happened, and then the rest of the chaos happened behind. But what was your point of view there on lap 29?
Yeah, that just, plays a part into what I said earlier about trying to manage the temps. I didn't know how hot he was, but I figured he was going to be really hot, and if I stayed low, he wouldn't be able to push me on the last lap. So right there, my mind's state was going to go up on the back stretch, maybe come down on the end chain of 3, or come down at some point off of 4. And but yeah, I moved up, and I don't know if he moved up too. I didn't watch the replay, but he said he was blinking, so I don't think he moved up. I think he just like, you're that close to the guy in front of you, and they kind of move, and you kind of just naturally move with them. So that's probably what happened there.
Fair enough. And then you kind of talked about it already, but the last lap chaos and the wrecking around you, and then all of a sudden the seas part, and it's just you and the start finish line.
Yeah, I literally had no clue what happened. I thought I lost the race on the backstretch because I looked at my right front and I saw I was kicked up a bit. So I was like, well, we've lost. And then I was gonna push. I was gonna fake out Aiden because I decided at the last second I'm just gonna push him. And I think he was like reacting to me, and James was reacting to him. So like they kind of met in the middle, and then I hit Aiden in the left rear, and then they wrecked. And then Spencer had a huge run, couldn't block that, and I don't know, like he got wrecked, and all of a sudden I'm the winner.
Hey, fair enough. A multi-time race winner this season in the NORC iRacing Series, Femi. Congratulations on yet another win. Who do you got to shout out? Who do you got to thank?
Gotta thank you guys for broadcasting, John Berry for the league, everybody who comes to race and comes to watch the broadcasts, and yeah, that's really it. It was a fun race, and I hope this next one is fun for everybody as well.
Absolutely. Once again, congratulations, Femi. Best luck to you in the next race. That should be starting up here in a few moments' time. Best luck to you there, and the rest of the races you decide to run with us, and your, of course, your Pro Series endeavors as well.
Thank you.
And that was our race winner, driver of the number 18, Femi Olad. And we're here right now. We're going to be able to take one more look and see what just happened on the final lap. And shall we? We'll let this play out. And you'll see Jared Darling out in front, with Cody Miller. And this is where, I guess, the back straightaway starts here. And the initial contact here that Femi was talking about right there. A little bit of contact on the right front. Femi's able to hold on, and everybody just darts around him.
Yeah, and that made a really big difference, bunching everybody back up again as they came down the back straightaway. You'll see here now we've got 3 very significant lines coming into turn number 3. Down on the bottom side, obviously Simmons leading the way with the Aaron Stream machine right there, and he got Aiden Kirker to give him some help. Relic started making a momentum from that. Femi Olot fell back a little bit, but that's the wiggle with Simmons, and Kirker gets beside him. Femi Olot starting to look for a way around, and then a big slew of contact amongst all those cars, and then just pandemonium ensues behind him. Femi Olot got through there with all that momentum, and he still held on to it. Patrick Colby actually did too, and if they had maybe 100 or 200 more feet, I think Patrick Colby would have been able to take that race win.
Absolutely. An absolute calamity there on the final lap and on lap 29, but we're not done yet. Folks, stick around. We have the second of the 2 races tonight for the NORC iRacing Series in their 13th season, round number 14, back here at the Talladega Super Speedway, coming at you right after this break.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Absolutely. As now we see the drivers make their way into the pit boxes. Dobbs, Robertson, Kinder, Barlow going to go all through 4 of them and take his place on the first pit stall. Wide bracket falling in behind. As now we wait to see these 4 tires and fuel and who's going to be able to win off payroll first. Adam Lancaster drops to jack first. Alan Dobbs is going to get off away early as Lancaster is going to jump all the way up to 3rd with that, almost beat Robertson, and they make contact, and that is not what you want to see. That might be a pit exit violation of 28, but that is a very devastating blow to number 2 car. You got to hope he didn't get too much damage out of that, but that was a hard hit to the inside wall.
Down the straightaway. We'll get a replay here and show you that one again. That car was really consistent and really strong. I was thinking Robertson was going to be a big factor in the finish of this race. You see Adam Lancaster and Brandon Robertson coming out side by side from the exit of the pit lane, and there was for the completion of 4 fresh tires on that machine. Dobbs got him out of the pit lane, no question about that, but Lancaster got a really great pit stop, came out beside him, and just trying to have enough room between both himself and the wall and himself and Lancaster. Obviously, he misjudged how much room he had to his right side and just clipped that wall. Unfortunately, that's going to be a big blow for Brandon Robertson, but he should be able to get that car fixed up and maybe before we even get back to green flag racing, get it back on the grid.
So getting on pit lane is going to matter a lot. Getting off of pit lane is going to matter a bunch as well. And we also see that margin from 2nd and 3rd starting to close up on the race leader, Jesse Webb. We were talking about the headlights. He was making good use of them there, trying to warn, oh, trouble in front of him. Look out, that's right in front of the leader. He somehow gets by after the 2 lap cars tangle in turn 1.
It looked like Gergois might have gotten on the brakes a little bit too hard, and he will collect Mick Blue as a result. Not too much critical damage for these drivers, but handling is sure to be an issue.
So Gergois, the car that got into the back of Mick Blue, who perhaps was maybe trying to yield to the leader, who was warning that he was en route and on the way. And Mick Blue also ended up spinning around. They now fall a lap behind the leader, who, what a job, though, by Jesse Webb to slam on the brakes as they all came into turn number 1 with a full head of steam. And due to where Gergois' car spun on the pavement as we back into the barrier here on board with Mick Bloom, looks as though that Webb is going to live to fight another day. Here it is out the back of Gergois' car, and here comes Webb. Deep down to turn number 1, just right into the back of Mick Blue, and there goes Webb, able to squeeze on by, and just like that, that is how quickly things can come undone for the front runners in lap traffic.
7 rather, and it ends up working for Bruno, but I'm not so sure that I would have done the same thing there into turn 1 like that, or turn 2 rather. Oh, Safeker's around!
Okay.
Oh, Jesdal had that big issue. Whoa!
Hey, just punted him right around. Luckily, he was able to get that thing fired up really quick, Jesdal.
Yeah, that was Jesdal. He goes around out of 7. That's what I was saying. He is the reason this all happened. So Jesdal has this spin, and wow, he just got on the power, I think, too much in that compression and spun the car around. And suddenly, here comes Nate Siefker, and Siefker's just got this big head of steam. It goes off track to clear him, and then gets punted off for doing so. I'm not sure that was intentional from Jesdal. I think it just ended up happening that way. Of course, Siefker going off track like that probably is already on the binders as soon as he gets back to the black there. And Jesdal just wasn't ready. Let's put that behind us. We've got to restart to focus on 2 laps to go. It's green-white checkered.
We're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of 2 products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Welcome, race fans, back to the Talladega Super Speedway. We're here for part 2 of our doubleheader tonight. Race number 14 in the 13th season of NORC competition is here. We just witnessed an absolute thriller. Green flag racing for 29 of the 30 laps. A big wreck happens on lap 29. We re-rack them, restack them. We get a green-white checkered restart, and it is Femi Olot who emerges from the smoke as a race winner. And we're here already into the qualifying session for race number 14 on the season. Femi Olot, of course, has the, I guess, the momentum, the advantage on his side, but we get to it here. Joe, what are your thoughts from that first race, and what are you expecting into the second race?
To get a yellow out of the first race we had tonight, I just don't see it happening again. I know all these guys kind of got their heebie-jeebies out in that first one, but this is going to be the real deal. I mean, it's the second of the 2 duels. It's your last chance to get the win tonight, and I can't expect to see 29 green flag laps going through it again this time. I'm watching this guy, the madman Cole Freilich, when we get to this race. He's going to be one to watch the whole way through. But it's going to be exciting, and I think it's going to be 30 more great laps of racing here at Talladega.
Absolutely, and it is Cole Freilich again working his way on the outside here, and we'll see if he sells for the outside on lap 1 or if he cuts it straight down to the inside on lap number 1, and we'll see where that plays out. Looks like he's going to the top side through the tri-oval, and I guess we'll have to really see in the turn 1, but he's right in the middle lane down the front straightaway, and he's cutting to the bottom on lap 1.
Yeah, so he's going to cut all the way to that yellow line, try to hug it as close as possible. You see Cole Freilich running down low, the guy out of Princeton, Kentucky. He comes off of it a little bit down the backstretch, actually goes the whole way off and goes right to the middle of the racetrack. It's an interesting way to go around the back right here. You're going to lose a little bit of time spanning out like that. You got James Simmons right here. He's running the very top side in that Aaron Street machine number 33 as he comes through turns 3 and 4, and he's going to try to put up a good lap time this time through and see if he can start up front, because he got to the front by the end of the last one. We know he's going to be fast.
Again, James Simmons, yes, exactly as you said, he was one of the prime competitors in the last race, And here he is working his way in his qualifying attempt. Spencer Owens, the first driver to set a time, and more are coming. Let's go ahead and ride on board with the driver again. He's called his shot. He's winning one of the two. Oop, that is not him. There's Jared Darling. He told me personally that he said he is going to win one of the two races tonight. He was oh so close in that first one, leading on the white flag, but not leading at the checkered. Will he do it here in race number 2? It all starts with a good qualifying run from Jared Darling.
Jared Darling coming to the line through the tri-oval now. We'll see what sort of a lap time he puts up. He gets 54.43413. That's going to put him 7th on the grid right now, but he's going to get another chance at it as Spencer Owens goes to the top end of the board, just beating out Cole Frelick's run. He's got a 53.566. You can see how close and how fast everybody's running right now.
Oop, I'm sorry, but Sean Williams has gone top of the charts. James Simmons second. Brett Pancari third. As more times continue to roll in, Ariati has now worked his way to the bottom side. And we will continue to see. Remember, Josh Robin was the pole sitter last time. Right now, Josh Robin is in 14th. And we'll catch up with him. He's actually working his way through the tri-oval. And trying to stay connected in the session long enough to get a time to the line. Our pole sitter from just an hour ago is 5th quickest.
Yeah, so just about half of a tenth of a second off of the pole time right now that Sean Williams has up. Here's Femi Olot. This is going to be one to watch when he puts some times on the board as he comes down to the bottom side of 1 and 2. That Interstate battery number 18 rips the bottom line, going through 1 and 2, trying to hug the exit of this corner. He comes off just a little bit. Seems like everybody's trying to carry a little bit more of their momentum and move up to the middle line as they come out of turn number 2. But this guy's going to definitely be a one to watch through the second of these two duels, obviously being the winner of the first one. And he comes into 3 and 4, going all the way back down, just barely keeping those left sides off that yellow line. You don't want to go too far down because you'll get off that banking and get all sorts of swirling.
Femi Olot working his way around the track right now, the 21st time out of 21 drivers. But to the line, Femi Olot, where will he go? All over the inside grass to the line at the very last possible moment. Femi Olot, like clockwork and like magic, he will go 5th quickest. So
that was
here
an
we
interesting
go.
strategy right there. Sorry to cut you off there, Emerson. That was an interesting strategy right there from Femi Olot. Kind of iffy on that move. That could have gone horribly wrong for him.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break right here. We'll be right back with the action here at Talladega, and we'll come back with your starting grid.
SoundArt introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. SoundArt ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
All right, and welcome back to the Talladega Super Speedway. Sorry about that. We had a quick thing we have to get going here, and what we do have to get going is our starting lineup. And on the pole, it is the 89 of Sean Williams. Again, he came to the front pretty late in that last race before the big wreck happened on lap 29. Sean Williams decides he's going to go to the front right away and start from the pole. To his outside will be James Simmons. Row number 2, we will find Brett Pancari and Spencer Owens. Row number 3, we will find Femi Ola and Josh Robin. Row number 4, we're going to find Daniel Falkingham and Jared Darling. And row number 5, we're going to find Hayes Booth and Ariati.
Roll back to row number 6 on the inside. You've got the Madman, Cole Freilich, and Tom Mercier on the outside in car number 68, starting P12. Starting 13th is going to be Dylan Patterson in the 03. On the inside, and Aiden Kirk are going to be on the outside in the 17 machine. Go back to 15th on the starting grid. On the inside of row number 8, you got David Shutt in car number 5, and Dallas Myhan starting at his outside in the 41. Back in 17th on the grid, you got Cody Miller in car number 28. Watch to see if he can move up to the front the same as he did in the first duel. Howie Britt's going to be starting on his outside in car number 97. And on row 10 for the field, John Barry in the 74 and Tommy Gossett on the outside.
We go back to row number 11. We're going to find Spencer Ray and Aaron Smith. Row number 12, it'll be Zoltan Hertzeg and Chad Oxendine. Row number 13, Bobby Cheney and TCB. TCB's got a lot of work to do to get back up there and do what he did in the last race. Sheldon Lockie, Zach Lindgren round out row 14, and row 15 will be Nathan Dunyas and Scott Shire.
Starting 31st on the grid, Patrick Colby finished P2 in the last race, and Taylor Frey on his outside had a lot of momentum as well in car number 21. Go back to 33rd on the grid, the final car in the order. Shrek, Michael Keithley going to be rounding him out shotgun on the field. Emerson, holy cow. We thought we got a show out of the first one. We get a whole nother 30 laps to go. It's going to be exciting again, and the track seems like it's got a little bit more heat in it this time. Might make for some very different dynamics in the race.
Well, let's take a look at that. I'm glad you brought up the heat. It is a little bit hotter. I don't think it's, enough to make that much of a difference. I think that there will be a little bit of a grip shift from 70 degrees Fahrenheit track temp in the last race to 88 degrees Fahrenheit, the track temp in this race. The air temp 72 degrees. It's just a slight difference in that Fahrenheit. But do you think, is this really felt maybe when there's so many cars? The wind isn't going to be really a factor, but is the entry to these corners maybe going to be affected, you think?
I do think so. I think that is a significant difference between basically 70 and basically 90 degrees. And I think with so many cars out on track, it's only going to get warmer and the sun's going to beat down on it. It should make it a little bit slicker, should make it a little bit more exciting into those turns, and might be interesting to see those lines shake up a bit.
Absolutely. And of course, my apologies for not doing this last time, but at least we will get him this time around. We're going to bring in the hype man of the NORC iRacing series, and TCB, take it away.
Can I get a good old Talladega?
The field roars to life down the back straightaway, and we're off once again for another 30-lap endeavor around the Talladega Super Speedway. It is James Simmons to the point here at Talladega.
James Simmons got a really great run on the bottom side. Spencer Owens up top getting some help up there. And to the line, Josh Robbins going to push that number 12 machine. He should be able to pretty easily clear and get that first lap lead. Spencer Owens now going to jump to the bottom side. He's got Robbins and Darling running to the outside.
Josh Robin, he started on the pole last race. He has got himself to the front at the end of lap 1 in this race, despite starting in the 5th position, or the 6th position actually. Femiola had edged him out there for 5th. Brett Pancari decides he's going to dip his way out of here, and it is Simmons pushing Owens, while Robbins got Darling hot in pursuit, or in tow, if you will, because Darling is going to continue to shove that 8 car forward.
Aiden Kirker jumps to the way high side. Things are getting a little bit argy-bargy in the middle of the pack right now. Spencer Owens on the inside line. He's got some help from Simmons. They got Robin and Darling to the outside, leading a 2x2 charge back to the tri-oval again. They're going to put another lap in the books, and this time Josh Robin is going to be the race leader at the line.
How about this man working his way forward, TCB? Where did he start? 26th? He is him up to the 8th position, and he's blinked out and into the wall. Oh, no.
Oh, big crash, and TCB's upside down. Big incident. Violently sliding through the infield right now. TCB, all sorts of haywire. That was tough. That was not at all what we wanted to see out of the hype man of this series.
Oh no. I feel like I am partially to blame with that timing. That is... I don't quite know how that ended up happening. We're going to take a replay here, and this is going to be a long look back and see TCB. I was just saying he was rocketing his way through the field, and this is all the way back in turn 3. Look at him get this huge run, shooting up the middle. Hertzeg trying to come down. He's going to, I believe, take it 4 wide here in the tri-oval behind Hertzeg. Yes, he does. He looks at least to take it 4 wide. He'll find his way behind John Barry. And, I mean, this is where he was really, I think this actually might be a lap too soon, but I guess we'll see his entire run through the field into the top 10, and then eventually blinking out and into the barrier.
Yeah, we'll be able to watch and see just how well TCB got through the lap before the inevitable instance that we just saw. So right now he's following Hertzeg. He looks to the bottom. Well, I can't say the bottom. He looks to like the middle bottom. He is about to go 4 wide right here, and he is 4 wide right here, just making a couple passes here and there. The start was kind of hectic, so now TCB is just bringing some momentum on the bottom side. You can see he's going to get around Kirker right here. He's behind Howie Briss, and he jumps... now he decides to jump behind Howie Briss, and you're going to see him make a couple more passes right here. He slides right between these 2 lanes, and he takes 2, and then he's going to try to take 4, so he's got Falkingham and Fralick, Semi-Olot, and this is where the momentum comes from. He gets a couple spots, and now into the corner, a little bit loose into the turn, and then this is the blink, and he returns to the track in the wall, and that is just heartbreaking.
Oh.
And then he gripped off the wall right there. Didn't make any contact with anybody, and even went over a couple cars in the back.
Man, it's just like that. There was not contact with another car in this field. It was just a little bit of lag, and I guess he was trying to get out of the way so he didn't, you know, impact anybody else, and unfortunately he caught maybe a glitch in the outside barrier, and it sent him, unfortunately, skyward, and then spat him on the other side of the racetrack on the inside wall.
Yeah, that is just such a tough break, and we've seen Josh Robin blinking a whole way through the first race, and fortunately for him, nothing really bad came out of that, but unfortunately TCB gets a little bit of a spike here, and it sends him upside down, 2-stepping down through the infield here, just getting a little dance moves in, breaking it down for everybody, but that's a tough break. One of the guys that everybody watches week in, week out with NORC, one of the favorites, and brings a lot of character to the series, and that's just not the way we wanted to see it end for him at all.
We're going to ride on board here with Aaron Smith, because TCB ends up landing right in front of Aaron Smith after this. You'll see him up there. He's blinking there. He hits right there to Talladega lettering, and wow! Oh, man, what are you thinking if you're Aaron Smith?
Yeah, I don't even know. You don't even think that's a car. You're just concerned about what the heck is going on in front of you. And Aaron Smith did keep the throttle down. He had space in front of him, thank goodness, because if there would have been cars in front of Aaron Smith, that would have been a large incident.
Absolutely. That was wild. I want to see if we can get a word in with one of the drivers in this field, and I believe I'm gonna find. Yep, we're gonna try to bring him on up and talk to the man who is currently leading this race, Josh Robin. First, you qualified on pole in the first race tonight. Now, this time you qualified within the top 5. I believe you got actually clipped by Olot there at the end for 6th. But here you are. You're leading now. You led at lap 1. You're leading here in the second race. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm a little upset I didn't get the pole in this one. But you know what? I know the last race I was having some internet issues. But it should be pretty good for this race. So I'm feeling more confident. I'll be up here all race. And I'm going to go for the win.
Absolutely. We know that you're a driver who likes to be up front and contending for that lead. Of course, the internet issues was very prevalent that first race. Do you feel you were going to be able to just be a force to be reckoned with up there if you were able to stay the whole time?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Like, I think I went to the back and front twice. Then that wreck happened with like 2 to go. I got involved in that. So I think I'll be up here to top 5 all race.
Fair enough. So is the game plan just hold the top spot or the top spot in your lane as much as you can over the next 25 laps?
Yep, just try to work both lanes. If I get shuffle back a couple of spots on the bottom, try to get to the outside, move up again, and do all that good stuff.
Fair enough. So after starting on the pole last race, as you said, go from back to the front, and now you come here, you qualify 6th, you rocket to the lead in 1 lap. You're leading here, Josh. Who you got to shout out? Who you got to thank for getting you to this point?
Well, I don't know. I'll shout out you guys for broadcasting. It's always fun to go back and watch the races, and shout out to Revin for putting these races on. The Dega Duels, it's like a trademark race that we do every season.
Absolutely. All right, Josh, we're going to leave you to it. Once again, congratulations on the pole last race, and best luck to you here on leading and the rest of the 25 laps of chaos that is bound to ensue.
Yeah, thank you.
And that was driver of the number 8, Josh Robin, and the current race leader of this race. And again, we saw him, again, qualify on pole, be very competitive, but unfortunately, he's starting to blink out again. I hope he's able to stay for the sake of himself and, you know, the quality of this race. I think we lose a little bit without Josh Robin, another hungry competitor at the front of the field.
Yeah, and all the guys around him are definitely going to be stressing out about that too, because you, like I said before, you can't run with somebody who's blinking in and out of the race. So definitely for the sake of Josh Robin and for the rest of the field, we hope those technical issues are off and away. I was hoping he didn't jinx himself when he said that in the commentary, but hopefully it slows down because it's happening again in the tri-oval.
Well, here we go. The iRacing.com Pace vehicle has found its safety back in the pit lane. It is Josh Robin, Spencer Owens, Jared Darling, James Simmons, and more, because we are green from Talladega. Once again, roaring to life down the back straightaway. Jared Darling leads. Ariotti, he's shooting his way forward. Ariotti wants to get to the front. He's going to the front. David Shutt in tow. Clear to the race lead is Ariotti.
That McDonald's number 23 rips down to the bottom side. Jared Darling's going to help him down there. David Shutt. Now Josh Robin slides to the bottom side. I was thinking Shutt was going to get a little help from behind from Robin, but instead it's going to turn over to Howie Briss, who then moves to the outside with Zoltan Herzeg. They're going to eat up David Shutt right now. As they come back to the line, Ariotti's going to lead the lap, but Jared Darling is going to make a run on in the middle position, I should say, as Howie Briss gets a ton of speed off the top line, and he's going to go to the front.
Familiar sights, because we're 3-3, 4 of a race lead, and Zoltan Herzeg and Daniel Falkingham, they've decided to come and play in this one. They took it very easy. Falkingham got lapped in the last one because he started from the pit lane. But they're here and they're ready to play, which I think just adds another layer to the excitement.
Yeah, we've been watching Daniel Falkingham do very well all season long, and that wasn't the first duel he wanted. He got a pretty okay finish out of it for how he started, but now he's in really good shape to stay up front, hopefully avoid any incidents that might occur, and get a chance at winning a duel finally in this race tonight. They're 3 wide for the race lead. How about this excitement to lead a lap? And it's going to go at the very last second to Ariotti, but Howie Briss and Jared Darling are right there with him.
So Ariotti gets it at the line. It's just going to continue to change. We're right on board in the eye of the storm with Dylan Patterson in the middle of this field, and just seeing the cars jockey for position to his outside, to his inside. The cars to his outside and inside will change pretty much every turn. You'll see Ver Herzeg gets an advantage there. Now there's really nobody else on that outside lane, at least that's visible on this camera, but the car to his inside now is the 41 of Myhan, when it was Falkingham probably just a little bit ago. And again, this is how quickly things change. I went on board with Dylan Patterson back in the 15th position. He is well on his way nearly into the top 5, looking for 7th.
Yeah, right now Dylan Patterson running on the top lane here, right behind Cody Miller. He's going to get past Falkingham. He's going to get past Robin. He's going to maybe escape Ariotti, not quite, but he will stay right there. Now he falls back to Josh Robin as the inside line gets a bit of speed from that one. Jared Darling bumped down to the bottom. Whoa, David Shutt blocked him up the track a little bit. They're going to get all sorts of swirly and all sorts of backed up right here down the back straightaway.
Bobby Cheney pushing Jared Darling to the race lead. David Shutt wanted in on that fun, but he got there a little too late to the party, I'm afraid. It's now side by side for the race lead. Shutt down low. Darling up high. They got pushed from Audie and Cheney. Josh Robbins still hanging in the top 5. Way up high is Dylan Patterson. Does anybody go with?
Does not look like it, so he's going to fade off the top lane. Jared Darling going to take a nose and lead this lap. Bobby Cheney kind of came out of nowhere, and now he is fighting in for second spot, trying to push Jared Darling out in front of David Shutt. It's not going to work this time. Ariadne's going to get a little bit of help to the 5 machine as they come out of turn number 2. The 3 wide situation is fading behind the leaders, but Jared Darling and David Shutt keeping the momentum and keeping the excitement at a peak up at the front end of the racetrack.
Darling clears to the bottom side, and now Cheney leads the middle line, and way up high is that Aiden Kirker. He's coming to life on the outside. He's got the push from Dylan Patterson. Taylor Frey in the middle of the middle lane. Then you have Falkingham up here in the heart of the pack. And it seems like he wanted to avoid the big wreck last race, so he's starting from the pit lane. Right now, he's right where it might just happen.
Yeah, this big pack right now is very argy-bargy in the middle. There's a lot of movement, small movements in amongst all these cars, and that is the type of thing you got to watch out for when you're in a pack race like this. It seems like out behind this 3x3x3x3 situation, everybody's kind of single filing out and just waiting for some sort of instance to happen, some sort of yellow, because everybody's kind of holding back into that second group right now and just gonna kind of wait out the storm.
Now let's ride in car with Daniel Falkingham in the middle of the pack. He's got Taylor Frey in front. Now Aiden Kirker not getting the help he'd like on that outside lane. Kirker now trying to hold what he's got on the outside, trying to get the push working from Dylan Patterson. Meanwhile, Falkingham trying to push his line forward as best as he can, because you don't want to really be pushing the car in front of you. You just want to be right up to the back end. And Femi Olot, the winner just a few minutes ago, has now gone purple on the track this time around, as Olot gearing up to go back-to-back in the same night.
Yeah, right now Femi Olot just kind of holding back and letting this front group do its thing, and he's coming on pretty strong in the middle line right here. You see he's going to get a little bit of a draft that should help him get around the double zero machine. Not quite into the corner, actually, because Tommy Gossip's got a lot of help on the bottom side from the cars in front of him, but you can see how far back Femi Olot's hanging, because I think he knows as well as any of us that it's starting to get into being a hurricane in the middle of the pack right there.
I think he's just raced NORC long enough to know how these boys go on a plate track, and there we go! They're gonna save it, but there's more contact going on down low, and there's somebody sliding to the inside wall. I believe that might be Tommy Gossett and Brett Pancari, and now Femi Olot has lost the draft, and we'll see back here. Actually, Gossett was okay. I believe Scott Shire's okay. Well, we're trying to figure out who is back there. Oh, no, I believe it was Michael Keithley.
I cannot say enough for Spencer Owens. That might be save of the year, or at least a contender for it. That was so well executed for him to keep control of that 12 car when he got sideways. We'll watch the replay back here. I don't even want to comment on it. I feel like anything I say is going to take away from just the amount of skill it took to do this.
Whoa, man. And everybody else, Robin, Freilich, for avoiding all of that. Amazing. That's a handful of drivers that all helped out in that picture. Michael Keithley, the biggest loser out of this unfortunate event. He is going to go straight down the running order and not really have any draft help with him. Yeah,
but another guy who absolutely just pulled one of the most amazing saves out of his back pocket that I have ever seen. I'm so surprised that was not a crash. I don't even have words to speak on its behalf. The race is still going on up front, so I'll get back to that, because that's something I can talk about right here. I can't believe we didn't get a yellow out of that.
Taylor Frey now leads the outside lane, but it's Jared Darling in the top spot. Bobby Cheney down low. Cody Miller pushing that one car forward. He's got Falkingham, Barry, and Hertzeg all in tow in his line, while Cheney has Shutt, Audie, I believe that's Dallas Myhand, and Howie Briss down low. Spencer Ray goes fastest, but on the outside, it's Taylor Frey, Aiden Kirker, Dylan Patterson, and Hayes Booth on the outside lane. Hayes Booth trying to stick with, and this is what we've got left of the lead pack. It is 14 cars, but it is 14 cars strong. They are 3 by 3 by 3 in this 14 car pack.
Yeah, this 14 car pack's going to put a big hole in the air that's going to let the guys who are trying to thunder back up into this crowd get some help. And it seems like there's a pretty solidly formed group of 3 cars. I think it was 4 before, but now it's down to 3 that were making the charge to get back up there, and everybody else behind now also moving into a single file line right here, being led by Aaron Smith and Spencer Owen. So they are going to try anything they can to get back up to that front group and maybe perform and bring in some action to get another chance at maybe getting into the top 10 or top 5.
Well, we look at it here, and off that lead pack, we have James Simmons, Femi Olot, Josh Robin, Aaron Smith, Spencer Owen, Sean Williams, Cole Freilich, Tommy Gossett, Zach Lindgren, Scott Shire, Patrick Colby, Brett Pancari, Spencer Ray, Nathan Dunyas, and Sheldon Lockie. All of them trying to get caught back up to this mess that Daniel Falkingham is now leading.
Daniel Falkingham and John Barry, they lead the 2 lanes. It looks like Femi Olot's gotten whoever he's got helping right in front of him. They've gotten back up. That is James Simmons. So those 2 are getting into the thick of it once again. They've thundered back up there right now. John Barry going to lead the lap. Zoltan Herzeg drafting with him. Cody Miller, Daniel Falkingham in the middle. Shuts going all over the place, trying to find a lane for turn number 1. It doesn't quite go. We got a couple guys going purple on that lap, but up front, things are still getting hectic for the race lead.
You know, the guys going purple that lap were the drivers at the back of that train that you see at the top of your screen catching this. Boys, if they can get a lane clear in that outside lane, they might rocket to the front.
This is definitely interesting to see that whole group of cars get back into the mess of this race, and it could be something to watch if that whole lane stays together and tries to run on the outside together. Something of that sort might give them an extreme boost to the front. We might see Aaron Smith and Spencer Owens fight for this win just yet. We still got more than 10 laps to go, 12 to be exact. There's plenty of time for a yellow, plenty of time for a run. Anything could happen still at Talladega.
Aaron Smith's going for it. Not really anybody else. That's something. Smith, I believe we wanted to do that. One, the outside lane is kind of clogged up right now. Howie Brish jumps out, and there'll probably be some more people coming up to block any momentum that Aaron Smith was going to bring with him. But now that there's no help, but now we've got a whole pack back together, a whole pack manifesting here. About 30 cars strong. Actually, it'll be 29 because Chad Oxendine and Tom Mercier are back here in 30th and 31st by themselves. Oh, here we go!
Whoa, there's no goal. That was Zoltan Herzeg and Damon Shaw.
Oh, no!
Oh, Josh Robin involved. Ariati involved. Zoltan Herzeg involved.
Brett Pancari.
Oh, man. That was right up at the top end of the racetrack.
Man, the cut back to the pack, and Zoltan Herzeg was the first car I saw going around, but we'll get a replay of it. Unfortunate events here at Talladega, but it was only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time.
Yeah, they were 4 wide coming out of turn number 4 right here. You'll see the replay. So here's Zoltan Herzeg running in 4th spot. He jumps sort of up to the high line. David Shutt tries to squeeze around the outside, and it just didn't work. He got a little bit of Zoltan Herzeg, and then he went up into the wall. Came back down. Ariati got involved. Josh Robin came off of James Simmons right there as well. A couple guys going evasively down to the bottom side. Brendan Pancari, unfortunately, tried to stay in the middle line, and that is where Zoltan Herzeg ended up. That was a couple of really solid cars involved in that wreck that are now going to have to take it down to pit lane and see what they can fix and see if they can get back into this race.
You know, that wreck was much smaller than I figured. You have the initial contact with Herzeg and Shutt, and coming down the track is Audi and Patterson and Robin and Pancari. Pancari gets some damage there. But other than that, I mean, for happening at the front of the field on the top side of the track, only 6 or 7 cars involved. That is not bad.
This entire evening has surprised me. I couldn't believe how long we made it into the first race, and now I can't believe the saves we've seen and the car control, even from the guys involved in the accident here, that it could have been much worse. And I think what really saved a lot of the guys in the field was the crash seemed to stay up at the top side of the racetrack for a while. So David Shutt and Zoltan Herzeg kind of were, I don't know if they tried to do it, but they kept those cars up to the top end of the track as the majority of the field went through. And then a couple of stragglers got involved, but overall kept a lot of those guys in the middle of the pack from being involved in this crash.
Well, there's somebody I want to talk to, and it's the driver who went a lap down very early in the first race, who is now leading in this second race. Daniel Falkenham, talk about the 55 laps you've gone through so far.
Well, I will say the last probably 4, 5, 6 or whatever have been the most exciting all race, since I didn't even get the race in the first one, since Irsing liked to screw me over. But other than that, it's been pretty racy from all the action I've been seeing and whatnot up front, and it's just been so insane, and thankfully it worked out in our favor. I thought we were going to go the whole race without caution, and I wouldn't be able to get my lap back. Still disappointed with how we finished in that last race, but it's still better than where we could have been. So hopefully we can pick up, do maybe 12 spots better in this round. Hopefully park this thing in victory lane like we did last week.
Yeah, absolutely. So that kind of answers the question. I didn't know if you intended to start from the pit lane in the last race, and didn't know that it would go the way it did. But you did recover, and talk about that final lap in that last race.
Yeah, it was junk, that's for sure. Me and Aaron were actually having a good run through the field. I restarted like 28, and I got inside the top 20 on the last lap, and we were going to try to make a run at it, but it was just so packed together, there was nowhere to go. But thankfully they all wrecked, but I think I picked up a few spots, but if I was in the right lane, I could have picked up maybe even 10 more spots. So when it gets down to the end of this thing, you got to be in the right lane. Hopefully if they wreck, you got to hopefully be in the right position at the right time. Pretty much all comes down to luck and whatnot. So, but hopefully we stay right where we are for the rest of the race, but I know that ain't going to happen.
Well, you are leading here. We talked to Femi a lot, of course, when he won the last race. He said he was able to play, both lines and really, work the temperatures. Do you think is that a thing you're probably going to attempt, or are you just going to stay loyal to the line you're in?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I'm just a terrible blocker and whatnot. So like when I try to make those aggressive moves, it usually doesn't end too well. So I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I'm definitely gonna try to amp up my game, amp up my aggressions to try to hold these guys off. But I know I'm not going to hold the lead probably from here to the end of the race. But it's going to – hopefully it just all plays out. I'm just going to do my own thing, and hopefully it all plays out. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't work out for me. But like 1 time out of 10, just like last week, it does. So we'll have to wait and see. Still got a little bit of racing left to do.
Well, from this restart, do you think you're making it to the white?
Probably not.
All right, Daniel, currently leading here in the second of the 2 Dega duels today, race number 14, current leader on lap 22. Who do you got to shout out? Who do you got to thank so far for your running?
Yeah, I just got to thank you guys for being on the broadcast. Thanks to John Barry for putting on the league. I got to thank everyone who was watching tonight's broadcast, all the fans who come out and watch us each and every week. Thanks to everyone who comes out and races each and every week, and thank my personal sponsors, First Trade Bait Lock 207 as well.
Right on. Well, Daniel, best luck to you in the rest of this event and all the chaos that is sure to ensue. And, yeah, hopefully we're talking to you on the far side.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I hope so, too. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely. And that was driver of the number 20, the current race leader, Daniel Falkenham. And, again, he didn't intend to start from the pit lane last race, and, man, it almost bit him hard.
Yeah, he definitely would have expected a yellow sooner in that race. I think that's fair. But right now he's kind of getting it back. And I think we mentioned this in that first duel. There's 2 of them tonight. So he's got a chance to win one. And he's going to put the binders on. He's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And he wants to have a good finish and carry forward some of that momentum he's carried through the entirety of the beginning of this season.
So we're working our way. This is yet another restart. This is more restarts than we had in the first race earlier tonight. We'll take a look at it. We're on our second caution. We've only had 11 lead changes, but to the credit of the field, we still have 8 laps to go, and we've ran a lot of caution laps relative to the last race. So we ran 6 caution laps. I'd say 11 lead changes for 15 or so laps. That is not bad at all. But the iRacing.com pace vehicle will find its safety in the pit lane, and it's now Falkenham, Cody Miller, John Barry, Jared Darling, Bobby Cheney, Taylor Frey, the first 3 rows. We are getting ready to get back to the action here at the Talladega Super Speedway. The end of the second of the Dega duels. We're racing once again. Cody Miller gets a terrible restart. And they're wrecking. And around goes I believe that is the 15 of Cole Fralick down on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Yeah, that is Cole Freilich down there. There were a couple other guys that kind of got woed up from that one as well. That was Sean Williams was involved as well, getting sideways. I think we're staying green right here. Maybe a little bit of damage on these two cars. Not what these two wanted to see at all, that we're staying green. But right now, the front end of the pack is starting to get back up to speed, and it's starting to get exciting up there, too.
We'll try to catch a replay of what happened there, but Bobby Chaney, a push from Femi Olot to the race lead is that 24, and now Femi Olot, he's got Dallas Myhand in tow, and along with him, that's the one of Jared Darling, side by side to the line. Bobby Chaney leads halfway through this lap. Will he lead at the line? Barely, but Femi Olot is going forward.
Top 9 kind of breaking away right now. Zach Lindgren on the outside trying to mount a charge. He's got Aiden Kirker with him. But right now, the top 9 getting closed in on significantly as Bobby Chaney and Femi Olot lead the 2 lanes out of turn number 2. Falkingham gets a little wiggly out of that corner. Jared Darling doing the same. Now Falkingham looking for an opportunity. Doesn't get there. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide back there.
Well, Pankari, I believe. No, that's Patrick Colby, who was trying to jump in front of Zach Lindgren, who's got Taylor Frey in tow, trying to make something happen on the outside, but it's only 2 cars strong. Here comes Jared Darling. He's jumping out of line. He says he's going to win one of these 2 races tonight. He didn't win the first one. He's trying to get this second one under his belt. He's got now Cody Miller in tow, and now that outside lane is starting to form up. Now Zoltan Hertzeg jumps out up high, because we're about to go 3 wide for the race lead.
5 cars go to the very top side of the racetrack. Femi Olot kind of fades off a little bit in the middle of the corner. Now he jumps to the top side, and he's going to carry that momentum from that group. My hand got left out all alone in the middle. Falkingham maybe looking for a little bit of clean air on the front. Oh, man, they're 4 wide into turn number 3.
These pushes are so aggressive. I don't know how we didn't wreck on the back straightaway there. They are shoving each other for every spot. And around goes Jared Darling into the middle of the field. Patrick Colby up and over.
Yellow's kind of come back out. There were a lot of cars who got through there, but a lot of cars who did not. Patrick Colby got way up in the air. I don't think he blew over, but he definitely got airborne. That's a tough break for the runner-up in the first duel of this evening.
Right, I don't believe he went over as well, but he did get major airtime, and we're going to see it right here. And all this happened, Cody Miller's just trying to push Jared Darling with every inch of that car, and Patrick Colby, huge hit there, I believe. Huge impact there with Zoltan Hertzeg, and again, a relatively small accident, which leaves a large field size for not that many laps to go.
Yeah, I think I saw Scott Shire might have got a little bit of that. I think Zach Lindgren got a bit of it as well. We know Jared Darling was involved, and obviously Patrick Colby got the worst of that incident. But overall, it doesn't seem like a ton of cars got involved in that wreck, and that's also going to help out Sean Williams and Cole Freilich get some time, get an opportunity to get back into this race.
Oh man, these NORC boys put on an amazing show at these Talladega Super Speedways, and here we got the amazing racing in the last duel, and we get a little bit more cautions in this one, and you know what? I think really the only ones who are beaten pretty badly might be Hertzeg and Colby with biggest contact there. I think everybody else may be able to continue on fairly well.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's too major, and it's right at the end of this race, so this is going to make for a very interesting restart, being very close to the end of the show. We might get the green before we have 2 to go. We might see a green-white checkered opportunity come up. It's only time that can tell us what iRacing is going to do right here. But that was a pretty exciting incident there with a very small amount of cars, so that will leave a really great race up front for us.
So we're going to go back to this restart here. I did mention that we were going to try to take a look and see what happened, and this entire outside lane, I mean, Cody Miller just doesn't go.
Yeah, Cody Miller, you see right here. So green flag back in the air, and Cody Miller got caught sleeping big time on the outside lane right there, and everybody's just trying to get around. Oh, that's contact with Freilich and Lindgren right there. Freilich was going a lot faster than Lindgren, right into the tail, and then he got lost control. Sean Williams came on into that one, and unfortunately the 15 and 89 got sent to the tail off of that start. That was not what they needed at all, but fortunately for them, they get an opportunity to get the cars fixed back up as we're going to go back to green. We're actually going to go check the replay once again here with Cody Miller, pardon me, as riding on board and see what we can hear.
All right, we're going to see what happened to Cody here, and going.
Tire spin.
Ah, yeah.
Big tire spin right there. That one you could hear and you could see the little wiggle that Cody Miller had, and obviously just the whole inside line passes him there.
That's unfortunate. As you said, Freilich made the initial contact there with Zach Lindgren and then made more contact with Sean Williams, and that was about all she wrote.
Yeah, that was tough right there to see with obviously Cody Miller. That was tough to see with Patrick Colby as well. Two guys who were very strong in the first duel tonight and had a very solid chance to maybe do a double down in these two duels. I keep wanting to say heat races. Joe, you're not doing a dirt race. You got to get it together, my man. So, well, it's in my blood, the dirt racing, but they're running like dirt racing tonight with how quickly these duels are going. I almost said it again there, but these duels are going very well. They're all staying right together, and it's making for some very interesting racing for Talladega.
Well, we're working our way off the banking here. Let's see, we're going to try to get another driver to talk to. If we can,
Try to win this thing.
see if we can bring this man on in here. Driver running in 5th position right now, John Barry, and we've been watching the aggressive moves throughout throughout the thick of the field. You've been a part of them as well, trying to move up the lanes, trying to move your way forward. How hectic is it in the heart of the field, as it is with most NORC plate races?
Honestly, in the middle of the field, where I've been at, it really hasn't been that bad. I haven't seen anything like really all that stupid. I think majority of the wrecks have been caused by like people lagging. So I really haven't seen like outside of like the outside lane chopping off or the guy on bomb coming with the block. I really haven't seen anything too terrible from my point of view. But I know it looks crazy on the broadcast, but it really hasn't been that bad out there.
Well, I guess that's a little reassuring. You've gotten to the front at one point in this race. You were as low as 28th as well. It's been a wild one today. You're right now sat in 5th. Is there, is there the opportunity for the 74 to move forward?
I mean, there's always opportunity, but with these plate races, they're lotteries. So it's just picking the right lane, and whenever they do inevitably wreck on the last lap, just make sure that you miss it and hope you have the speed to pass the leader, because the leader's going to be sitting duck. So it's all luck. I could do it. It's just cards got to fall right for me.
Fair enough. All right, John, you're getting ready to go here. Well, you're halfway down the back straightaway. Who do you got to shout out? Who do you got to thank for your running so far?
I just like to thank everybody who's been in this race. This one has been not the best plate race. There've been a couple of wrecks, but that first race was probably the best plate race I've been in a long, long time. And this one's been pretty good too. So I just like to thank all these guys out here racing. This has been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. All right, we are going to leave you to it. Best luck to you, John, and hopefully we're talking to you on the far side.
I hope so too. Thank you.
And that was driver of the number 74, and of course, the man running the show most weeks, John Barry. In that number 74, you can't miss it. Black on the hood and orange base on the back end, and I really like that scheme as well. But he's been all over. If that graphic doesn't show it.
Yeah, John Barry, strong driver, week in, week out with these guys. Very consistent, very aggressive here tonight. That's been paying dividends for him staying up front in the second dual race. He's got a lot of hungry drivers in front of him and behind him, so they're coming back to the tri-oval. We'll get this race back underway, and we'll see what he can do with it.
Absolutely. Up front, it is Femi Olot and Bobby Cheney, Dallas Myhand, Daniel Falkingham, John Barry, Spencer Owens, Aiden Kirker, Scott Shire, Chad Oxendine, and James Simmons. We are green from Talladega. 3 laps to go. There's actually 2 laps to go, and now we're looking at a lap and a half, and all bets are off. Anything goes, but first, can we make it back to the white? Bobby Cheney, Femi Olot, the front 2, going at it hard. Olot, the biggest of pushes from Dallas Myhand, but Daniel Falkingham rockets back to try to get the 24 Bobby Cheney up there.
Falkingham pushing Cheney. They come back to the trioval again. They're going to get the white flag presented by Tucson Sound Art. This time, Femi Olot trying to double down on the evening. He's got a little bit of help from My Hand and Spencer Owens on the outside as Sean Berry's going to be the third car in line down low. They come into turn number 1. They stay 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 and through turn 1. Into turn number 2, Falkingham pulls side by side with Femi Olot. Bobby Cheney now jumps up front. Will he block to the top side down the straightaway? Not quite to the midpoint of the stretch. 1/2 of a lap to go.
Massive side drafting going on further on back. My Hand, I believe, was trying to get a side draft off of John Berry. Through 3 and 4. They stay calm for now, and Falkingham, I think he blew up. He's going around. Can he save it? Everybody else is still going. Now Taylor Frey gets dumped to the line. Femi Olot, is he going to go back to back? They're wrecking in the background. Dallas My Hand down low to the line. It is Femi Olot back to back. 2 wins in one night for Femi Olot.
Wow, I thought My Hand was going to be able to...
no.
Big incidents at the end of this one. I thought My Hand had it. I really did. He just got down underneath the bottom line of the racetrack, and I think that might have killed a little bit of his momentum that he got down onto the flat part of the track. But that side draft was brutal, and he was trying so hard to get Femi at the line. But how about that? We got him doubling down in that number 18 machine.
That's so impressive. Do you know how hard that is to do at Talladega, of all places? Oh my goodness. Femi Olot goes back to back. I know he's a pro driver, but how do you do that at Talladega?
You can see this whole big slew of wrecking cars in behind them, and holy cow, Bobby Cheney was almost going to get third place, but just at the very last second, I don't even know what happened to that car, but you see right at the very end, Simmons came in, and the race is already over at that point, but Femi Olot coming down from what must have been a heck of an intense moment in that car.
I just want to say, Bobby Cheney, he was up here at the front in the top 5, going for third. He ends up crossing the line in 20 because of that right there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, most of the field slid through before he got to the line after that huge incident. You saw Oxendine had been involved in an accident as well on his own a little bit further back in the field as they went through the trioval, and then it just seemed like a whole bunch of guys kind of like a ballet group all at the same time started sliding sideways here. We'll catch another replay back of a couple more of the guys involved in this. Want to give a shout out to Daniel Falkingham for keeping that car straight when the motor blew like it did. That was pretty impressive to do as well.
Absolutely. I mean, there's no power in that thing. That was all steering. And, you know, there they go. The notorious wrecking at the end. My goodness, Tommy Gossett up and over. And the 54 as well of Nathan Duenas, and so many cars up and over. I believe, Miller was also up and over to so many. That was hard to keep track of there.
Yeah, and a couple guys, even Ricky Bobby, passed the line right there. I saw Cole Freilich throw it into reverse and get through the line. I think Howie Briss was trying to do the same there, but that was just a lot of guys trying to eke out 1 or 2 more spots at the very end of that race to get maybe a few more points.
Well, while we are here, I think it is time to bring in back-to-back race winner Femi Olot. Like I said, I know you're an eNASCAR pro driver, but how do you go back-to-back at Talladega in this kind of a field? That is gnarly.
I think a lot of luck is, well, actually, I don't know, because I don't really think anything happened that was too lucky. Maybe Daniel blowing up was like the luckiest thing that happened in our race, but I think it's more of, I don't know, just trying to position myself, trying to like watch pack throughout the whole race and try to figure out where the runs are coming from and figure out, you know, who's doing what, like who do I want to, who am I comfortable, you know, forcing 3 wider and whatnot. And yeah, I think it's just a lot of watching what's happening during the race to put myself in position to win.
All right, I know you have, of course, I believe also the great running at Daytona earlier this season as well. So again, a lot of going for you at these plate races. But piece together these 64 laps, and again, 2 different races. Now you're rocketing ahead in the win total as well. what was? I mean, did you even fathom getting 2 wins coming into tonight?
I'm not gonna lie to you. At the start I was like, when I saw like the league is going to Dega, I was like, why not? I think I do pretty well on plate tracks. How? I don't know. I just like I said, I just try to look at what's happening in the pack and then just place myself accordingly. But I think there was a season I think I should have swept the duels again, and then I got wrecked off turn 4 in the last lap in like the second one. So it wasn't like something that I couldn't think of doing. But I mean, the odds of doing it obviously aren't high, but I did it. So
I did it. I think that's all you have to say. I'm still at a loss for words. That is a phenomenal performance, Femi. What do you think is going to be your next event you run with NORC, if you know?
I don't know. I won't know the exact track or the exact date, but I think if we have another like 3-week break for the Coke Series, I think one of those weeks I'll probably race NORC if it's a track that I want to race. I don't know the remaining schedule, but if it's a track that I want to do and I can show up for it, I think I will.
Fair enough. I think you are a pretty solid pick, again, with multiple wins on the season. Femi, once again, who do you got to shout out? Who do you got to thank for a phenomenal performance tonight?
Like I said in the first one, I got to thank, first, let me thank you guys for broadcasting, because you guys do a phenomenal job. I think it's, like I said this before, but kind of got to reiterate, it's really good having you guys on board for the season, even if I'm not racing. I think everybody around the league likes the energy that you guys bring to the broadcast, so thank you. And got to thank John Barry again for the lead, because like we were just talking about, I don't know when I'm going to show up, but I do know that when I do show up, it'll be like a way for me to just log laps, and whether I win or not doesn't really matter. It's just the fact that I get to drive laps. And the plus side of that is it's with people that I've been racing with for a really long time, so that's really cool. And so I got to thank everybody who does race, and everyone who does watch. And shout out to Gibbs Gaming. Thanks to Interstate Batteries for everything that we've done so far for this season, and hope we can finish the season strong in the Coke Series.
Absolutely, Femi Olot. Congratulations on. I'm still at a loss for words, but sweeping the NORC Talladega Duels, races 13 and 14. They're yours. Go out, celebrate, have a good one, and best luck to you again on the next NORC race that you come do with us, and of course on your Coca-Cola Series endeavors.
Thank you.
And that was race winner, driver of the number 18, Femi Olot. Now we're going to step aside, we're going to take a quick break, but we'll come back with some more post-race interviews, and of course the recap and the roundup of this second Talladega duel. We'll be right back with all of that on the far side of this break. Again, Pit Stop TV's coverage of the NORC Talladega duels wraps up on the far side.
Have you found yourself trying to hide your joy because you're unhappy with your teeth? Your smile is the first feature noticed in an interview, on a date, or in family photos. We want you to be able to shine bright as your best self, and our teeth whitening system is the perfect step toward restoring your confidence.
Sound art is a product that is a speaker and it's art. We combine it together and we call it sound art. What makes it so unique that any picture can be your speaker? Sound art gives you the high quality sound without the ugly speaker. This isn't a picture with a speaker, the picture is the speaker. Just imagine your wedding picture uploaded onto a canvas and now it's speaking 10,000 tunes. I mean, it's a very cool concept. What we like so much about it that you can take anything that means something very special to you, upload it on the canvas, have it hanging up in your room, your balcony, wherever you want to put it, and now it's a speaker. I mean, how cool is that? It's something that we have that and no one has. No one has this product. It's just a great gift to give anybody. It's just a neat concept. Around here we say, art never sounded so good.
After months of quarantine, we're all interested in how we can become our best self. The team at Permanent Makeup and Cryo is here to help you get the flawless makeup look every day without the extra effort or time. When it comes to your appearance, you deserve the best care that money can buy.
Sound art introduces an entirely new way to listen to music in your home. By combining the best of two products, a revolutionary high-fidelity, low-profile Bluetooth wireless speaker with beautiful artwork. Select from a library of artwork or upload your own photos to personalize your experience. Sound art ushers in an era of invisible, beautiful, and amazing sound throughout your home and redefines your entire entertainment system. The need to reclaim your floor space and rid your home of unsightly speaker boxes that need to be bolted to the wall is now a thing of the past. Our canvas is printed on high-quality permalite by Breathing Color. And select from our gallery or upload your own. Standard sizes include 16 by 20 and 18 by 24 canvas wrapped. Custom sizing is available, as well as surround sound options.
Ten four.
Welcome, race fans, back to the Talladega Superspeedway. Now into post-race coverage of the second NORC Talladega Duel. And we got a couple drivers we'd like to speak to. First, we want to talk to driver of the number 12 in our 6th place finisher tonight, Spencer Owens. He's standing by with our Joe Donahue.
Yeah, we're going to bring Spencer Owens in here. Spencer, you had a pretty good shot at things at the beginning of this race, and I want to go way back because I think you have a contender for Save of the Year. Tell us about your Code Brown earlier in this race.
Oh, I was hoping you guys saw that. Yeah, I don't really know what was happening there. Somebody tried to force it, I think 4 wide, possibly. Just in a gap. There was a gap there, but I mean, that early in the race, you shouldn't be making those moves. But I mean, we had a heck of a save, so.
Yeah, and it definitely brought you back up. You had a great chance from that to kind of get your works back about you, and over the course of the next run, you were able to start putting that 12 car more up towards the front. How did you do that? How do you regain momentum from something like that and you get all worked up, your heart skips a couple beats, and then you got to get right back into the focus and get back to racing?
Yeah, it's just something you gotta learn that over years of doing it. You just gotta get your head back into it and just pick a car and start pushing. Just to get you back into it. So you just hook up with a few guys and just get back into it.
Absolutely. And what kind of momentum do you bring out of Talladega Duels right here? Obviously, you learned a couple things. You got a couple solid points out of this race right here, and you're looking to the end of the playoffs. You're looking for the end of the regular season into the playoffs. What kind of things do you think you need to do over the next few races to try to secure yourself into a good spot to continue the playoff run into maybe making some sort of championship run out of it?
Yeah, it's obviously going to bring a lot of momentum out of it. We're going to pick up a lot of points on a lot of people. I don't really know where we're at next week, but we're gonna go into there and just hope for the best. Try not to wreck any more cars. We just need good finishes from here on out. Yeah, just hope to carry this out. We're close to it, and we're gonna try to get into it.
Absolutely, Spencer. Well, hey, that was a very interesting and exciting show from both of your duels, specifically the one that we just saw and that amazing save that we did catch on screen. And I'm sure everybody's going to be liking to go back and watch that replay back over time, Spencer. But who do you have to thank and who do you have to shout out for getting that car out on track, getting it hooked up so you can make that save and bring it home for a solid finish tonight?
Yeah, I got to thank Brevin for the races. He puts on a great show for those guys. You guys for broadcast and everybody who came out.
Awesome, Spencer. Well, hey, congratulations on your pretty solid and consistent performance here. We'll look to see you again and hopefully get to talk to you next week.
Thank you, guys.
And that is Spencer Owens. I'm glad he made note of that himself. I'm glad we were able to catch that save on screen because that was just probably one of the biggest highlights of his season and this race tonight. I'll hand it back to Emerson Arden. He's going to bring in a good buddy of his, Jared Darling. He said he was going to call himself a win tonight. Didn't quite get it, but we'll bring him into the booth.
Well, that is what I wanted to mention. You told me, Jared, that you were going to win one of these races, and man, you were oh so close in that first one, and then got caught up in an incident here in the second one. But talk about the night. Was it what you expected? And how do you feel about it?
Obviously, by the way, thanks for bringing me up here to talk about my disappointment here. Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, we were, obviously I'm always confident here. I just love these plate races and know how to keep it up front, and thought I was doing everything right in that first race, especially. And, that first race was just incredible. White knuckle. All the way to the end there, and I just made a little mistake. I got hot behind Femi and just slightly was just moved up a little bit and got into TCB and, made all the fans send death threats to me and everything now because I wrecked the fan favorite. So, we'll be dealing with that, I guess. And, I did everything right there, I felt like. And then on that last restart in the first race, I thought we were in a good position still. And we just got together, me and Femi again. We're all pushing so hard, and that's just part of Talladega. And, just came up a bit short there, but I still felt confident that second race and was up front again, and just me and Cody made it 3 wide on Dallas, and just can't help, net code sometimes, and it just killed my car and we wrecked. So unfortunate night for sure. Definitely was hoping to at least get a win, and didn't happen tonight.
Well, sorry for bringing it back up, but well, you're leaving Talladega now, and you look to the rest of the season. Only a few more races left to the playoffs. Next week at the Paperclip at Martinsville. How are you feeling? I guess for a postseason run here, and setting yourself up for that.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about making the playoffs. I just saw I moved up to 6th now, so another position up, so that's good, and that really helps with Will not being here actually, but. So Martinsville, I will be honest, Martinsville's probably one of my worst racetracks on here, so we're really going to need to actually probably run some laps, and if we want to be competitive there. But I know afterwards, I know we go to Atlanta, and that's one of my absolute favorite tracks. I think we go to Atlanta after that. So I got a couple good tracks after Martinsville. Just hopefully we can survive and just finish Martinsville and, just not have any, DNFs and all that. And hopefully we can make the playoffs, and it's a new season, So that's the goal there.
Absolutely, and after a wild night of racing, Jared, you were up front a lot tonight in both of the dual races. Unfortunately, like we've mentioned, did not get that top spot. But who do you got to shout out? Who do you got to thank for your running in the 2 races today?
Yeah, I'll give you a nice shout out for calling me out there and bringing me up here to talk for my wonderful finishes tonight, but it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun tonight. Like I said, I love Talladega Daytona, and anytime I come here, I feel like I can win, and almost got it done. Just made a couple mistakes there towards the end. So, but yeah, so shout out to all the drivers and John for the league, and you guys for the excellent broadcasts every week. Can't wait to go back and watch because it was a thriller for sure. And everybody in chat tuning in. Sorry I wrecked TCB. And anybody watching, cheering for me, thank you. And we'll see you at Martinsville then.
Right on. All right, Jared, we're going to leave you to it. Once again, congratulations on the great run-in today, and best luck to you next time out and the rest of the regular season.
All right, man. Take care. Thanks.
And that was driver of the number 1, Jared Darling. He came home in 12th. I did want to bring him on up to talk about that, because he did tell me he was going to win one of the 2 races. But it's Talladega. It's so hard to control that. And he tried. He really did try. That first race, he was in prime position. But, of course, when you're in a NORC plate race and you get off of turn 4, there's no guarantee that you make it back to the checkered flag in one piece.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Emerson. You know, lucky to get to the finish at all with the way the 2 races ended up tonight. But he had a lot of speed, and I wouldn't have blamed him at the beginning of the night for thinking he could win it. I mean, he could have won it, you know. Anybody could have. But at the end of the show, you know, sometimes the cards don't fall in your favor. Jared Darling knows that. You know, everybody knows that. Even Femi Olad, who got 2 in a row here tonight, knows that sometimes luck doesn't stay on your side, but there's always next week.
Absolutely. But before we get to next week, let's see how they all came to the checkered. In all sorts of car orientations and all that. Femiola was going to correct direction by 2/1000ths of a second over Dallas Myhan. I just realized that. That is gnarly. James Simmons will come home in 3rd. I don't know how you follow that up. Zoltan Herczeg in 4th. John Barry in 5th. Spencer Owen 6th. Aiden Kirker in 7th. Hayes Booth in 8th. Michael Keefley 9th. Ariotti the top 10. We'll work our way further on back to 11th. We'll find David Shutt. 12th place, we'll have Jared Darling, and it'll be Scott Shire coming out in 13th. Brett Pancari in 14th. Tom Mercier will round out the top 15. It'll be Sean Williams, 16th. Sheldon Lockie, 17th. Spencer Ray, 17th. I'm sorry, Sheldon Lockie, 17th. Spencer Ray in the 18th position. Sean Williams there in 16th. Aaron Smith in 19th. Bobby Cheney was literally 100 feet away from a 3rd place finish. He'll end up and over. Destroyed race car in 20th.
Going back to 21st on the grid, you've got Chad Oxendine. Made a little bit of noise, but got involved in a crash at the very end of this one. Cody Miller is going to come home 22nd. 23rd is going to be Nathan Duenas. Then we've got Dylan Patterson, Cole Freilich, Daniel Falkingham going through 24th to 26th. Howie Briss rounds out 27th. Tommy Gossett in 28th. Zach Lindgren 29th, and Taylor Frey going to be the first car lap down in P30 tonight.
Rounding out the back half of the field, the back page of the field, Josh Robin will be a DNF 5 laps down in that 31st position. Patrick Colby, again, the massive crash he had off of turn number 4. Massive airtime and contact with Zoltan Herczeg. He'll be 32nd, and ooh, man, TCB coming home in 33rd. That one's going to leave a sting on the fans for sure. But
yeah, that's definitely a tough one to see. The hype man of this series and one of the favorites, but sometimes the cards don't fall in your favor. It happens. It's racing.
Absolutely, it does happen. I was going to say, Joe, what are your final thoughts leaving Talladega? I think I'm thoroughly entertained, and I'm sure you are, but I guess from a racing perspective, what did you see? How do you feel?
Yeah, you know, from a perspective outside of the track, outside the catch fence, I think the dual system works really well for these guys. It keeps the racing exciting for a longer show, so you get 2 opportunities to win. You get 2 kind of split races that make for very exciting points in both. From a driver's perspective, I thought that was extremely impressive tonight. I was so enthralled and impressed by the run in the first heat race, getting almost to the very end of the race before the yellow came out. And then even in the second one with all the big saves, and we didn't see a lot of big wrecks. We really didn't see many big wrecks at all. 60 laps at Talladega. So I'm thoroughly impressed and satisfied with the way that the race went for the drivers. I think NORC always brings a great group of guys out on track, and it's always worth watching. It's always worth being a part of. I'm grateful to be a part of it tonight with you, Emerson, and I think Talladega is very satisfied with the show we got out of this one tonight.
Absolutely. It was a pleasure to call this one with you, Joe, as well. And of course, we are not alone. We could not do any of this without all of our brilliant partners here at Pit Stop TV, and of course broadcasts brought to you by the folks at Tucson Sound Art. Your picture, your music. Use promo code PitStopTV at checkout for 10% off of your wall-mounted sound art device today. By Race Pace Setups. Pick up pace with Race Pace, a community-driven setup shop and driver development program. By Permanent Makeup in Maine. You deserve the best care that money can buy. By BAM Racing Videos. By a race fan for the racing community. And by Whiplash Media, the official graphic and camera provider of Pit Stop TV. Now that'll do it from the Talladega Super Speedway. We were happy to have you all. We're happy to have had you all here for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. But the channel stays active all throughout the week now. Literally, we have a broadcast Monday through Friday. We're keeping this gravy train rolling. Tomorrow night, the Outlaw Sim Series has their first points race of the season and their first points race on Pit Stop TV. Tomorrow night, the Daytona International Speedway Oval Open Setup Trucks starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. You're not going to want to miss that. Then we're going to get a little dirty. We're going to sling some mud at the Knoxville Raceway. The sprint car capital of the world hosts the MSRA Truck Series presented by VFW. And Friday night, we'll keep the MSRA action going on with the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the MSRA National Series. A lot of action coming up here on Pit Stop TV. And of course, next Tuesday night, NORC action will continue, and will continue back on its weekly time slot, weekly basis. And we are at the Paperclip, the Martinsville Speedway. We go from the largest track on the actual NASCAR schedule to the smallest track on the NASCAR schedule. Oh man. We've had Tempest Flare at Nashville. We still have some Tempest Flare at Auto Club. We've had huge wrecks here at Talladega, and we're gonna jam everybody back into a short track next Tuesday night, Joe. I cannot wait. But Joe, where can everybody find all of the information for all of our upcoming events, or even the next NORC event?
Yeah, so be sure to keep in touch with us and keep track of everything, because we have a lot of really great resources that are going to help you guys keep on track of all of the racing series we get to cover. Obviously, you can go over to Facebook. Some people watch over there with our link. You can go look us up. You can just search up Pit Stop TV or use the link facebook.com/pitstoptv/. You can check us out on Twitter at pitstoptv_. You can use the link on screen below to go get there as well. We have an Instagram. If you use the the ampersand, rather the pit stop, or it's not the ampersand, the pit_stop_TV for all of the great stuff that Trey Shuttlesworth takes care of throughout the race, and that you can get some of those updates as well. And when it's time to tune in, be sure to check out the YouTube channel. If you search us up, Pit Stop TV, or you can use that link at youtube.com/c/pitstoptv1. Lots of really great different disciplines that we can use to get the most information to all of you, and you can keep up with all your favorite series here on the channel.
Absolutely, Joe, and once again, a phenomenal night of racing, but at last it is time for us to go. For all of us at Pit Stop TV, Joe Donahue beside me on the mic, Trey Shuttlesworth rocking the social media coverage. I'm Emerson Arden. Thank you all for tuning in. Y'all stay safe, y'all stay cool, and we'll see y'all next time.